Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DFC 97. Hope y'all are ready. Pretty sick card, man. Let's just kick over to it, shall we? We can. Hold on. Technical difficulties in the spaceship. I mean, you know how it is. We also had some other technical difficulties. You're going to see me with a fight on this card, but my opponent had to back out. I'll show you what I mean. Look at this. What an incredible card. By the way, what's up, everybody? Big cheers to you guys. Thanks for joining me. Big nerd vibes, Pervicious. I hear you, brother. Leroy, what's up, dude? Big cheers. Primo, my dude. First like. Damn straight. All right, I gotta get up in that. We'll get there. Yeah, Gertie had to back out. I says he got caught in a snowstorm, stranded weather. But I think we all know what it really was. It was fear. Yeah, it was fear. He saw that brawler barb. He's seen the ES fireballer. Builds are scary. Super scary. I don't blame him. But holy shit, look at this card. By the way, I want to say this. I see you, Leroy. I see you. We're so far ahead. But we'll go back to the spaceship after this for a special cheers, brother. What a card, man. This is... I'm actually pretty pumped about the championship bout here. It's Dio's first title defense. He's on his druid, and he's going up against Punch on the barb, on the legendary barb. This guy, Season 2 DFC champion, and I think he's got some tricks up his sleeve tonight. He sent me a screenshot earlier and said that I was going to like his build. My question is this guy gonna bring a brawler to a title fight? You know? Is he? We're gonna see. By the way, what's up, Mooches? Big cheers to you, brother. Then we've got Helen versus Slapmonkey. Now, Helen is a new guy, perpetual new guy. Slapmonkey, also a new guy. But don't let that guy fool you, man. Slapmonkey is a very savage necro. And he's committed. So that could be a very, very interesting matchup. Hellian's been wanting to do some NVD for a long time, so he's gonna get what he desires tonight. We're gonna see if he can actually pull it off versus Slap, or if he will indeed get slapped. Montreana versus Tor, Barb v Neck. A lot of good handful of Barb players here on the card tonight. Gotta say, love seeing them, man. Then it was supposed to be me and Gertie. We also have some late signups. I know Doombringer wanted to be on the card as well. I think there was an odd number of people. We'll get it figured out. Matchups, post-matchups are they're tough to make. But then we also have Polytheist versus East. Everybody might remember him from last week on the Ghost. New Ghost Sin player in the DFC. Oh, wait, is that what it... Yeah, it's probably better to go Druid anyway, Hellion. Look, you signed up on a Sorceress, actually, as you always fucking do. And then when I sign you up on a Sorceress, you say you don't have a Sorceress. So I just put you on a Druid today. If you really want to know. That's what happened. Like, if you go in, I'm pretty sure, unless you changed it. This is what it looks like. Hold up. Nope, now you're on an assassin. Look, I think you're broken, my friend. I think you're broken. Hellion broken. I don't even trust what you sign up on anymore. I'm just like, all right, he has a lot of shit, but he definitely doesn't have whatever build he signed up with. So we're gonna put him on something totally different that we know he has. Tyler and me, HVZ. Toshank versus Hellion. Neck v Drew starting in 2 minutes for the viewers. Let's fucking go, man. Yo, are you in the join the stream? Pop over in the... Okay, yeah, you are. All right, good shit, good shit. Yeah, we'll pop over and check that out, dude. Good old exhibition match to start things off here. Love it. Love it, my dude. This card actually came together, though. This is pretty nasty. We've got Muchez versus NYC Maxim. Is that still going on? HVZ, like Hammer versus Zon. So fun. Like, legit, when you get, like, a three-piece combo looking H-10. Is that a fun one? I've always seen Zons just slaughter H-10s. Never seen it go any other way. Yeah, I was gonna say. That's it. Yeah, I was actually pretty pumped about Muchez versus Max, because I'm like, look, we've seen Muchez lose to a Sin before. But we've also seen Muchez adapt to that Sin-style strategy and come back and win. But I'm like, if there ever was a Sin player that could get creative enough to take out Muchez, it could just be Max. So it should be a very challenging, very interesting fight to see. So yeah, before we do that though, let's go to the spaceship for just one moment. I just want to say, big shout out to Leroy Sunset, dude. 13 months. Can't believe it. Flew right by. Brother, big cheers to you, man. I'm not sure why it's not flying in here under the... Look, we travel so fast. You know how it is. You know how it is by now. But I just want to say big cheers to you, brother. And just in case we're late, even more, notifications are all kinds of fucked up today. Even when I logged on, I was like, this doesn't look right. But either way, I see you. Tommy Fred's Trains. Bro, thank you so much for that 178. Big cheers to you, bro. There it is. All right, now they're online. Here we go. Just got to talk a little bit of shit about the spaceship every once in a while. Kicks her right into gear. She don't like being slow. She don't like being called slow. Because much like Santiana herself, she is a fast clipper ship and she knows it. Yeah, big cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for that. Let me, in the background here, get this pulled up. It's going to be Hellion versus Toshank. Actually going to try to pop into Toshank's point of view here. Check this out. Might be able to hear it in the background. I'm going to see if we can see it.
I am overburdened.
All right, let me do some adjustments here. Spaceship walls and all this. you know how it is. Technical difficulties. Let's cut over to it. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Love it that these guys are starting this stream out with some serious action. Drew v Neck, and this is big for Hellion too, because he's got himself an NVD matchup tonight. And now he's getting some practice in against an absolute legend in Toshank. I think if he's prepared for Toshank, he's going to be prepared for the best of the best. But we're going to see if Toshank can take a little bit of the wind out of his sails here early on. Put Hellion into a state of demoralization before his duel. Can he do it? This is interesting. Hellion backing off a little bit. Oh, just as I say that, he gets the nastiest chain lock on Toshank. Takes him out. There it is, the famous lines right there. First one's free from Toshank. He ain't letting you have them all like that. He ain't letting you have them all. Let's cut over to Hellion's standpoint here. Let's check this out. Here he is on his druid, just... That bear looks dark, dude. His graphic settings, that bear looks dark. I'm back and forth with Tyler and me usually. It's pretty good Telly versus H-Tin if both players are good, yeah. And Leroy, hey, thanks again for that, man. I see you, brother. It's, man, it's a good part of the week, ain't it? Love it. By the way, Helen and Toshank, thanks so much for starting this right off like this, man. Even though this isn't technically on the card, it's a good exhibition match. It's a good exhibition match. You know what? We could make this an official one right here. We could just, you know what? I think we should. I think we should. We'll just make it an official one. Looking at Hellian's point of view now, he is low. He is low. He's been sliced up by Toshank here. How's Toshank looking? Let's see if we can cut over without losing much here. Oh, and there it is. Right as we do, a beautiful up spear taking out Helian like it's nothing. Now, as we always say with this matchup in particular, it's a very skillful one. It's very, it's arguably the most skillful matchup in all of D2R PvP right now. And these guys going back and forth, two very skilled people on both of these classes going at it. And why is it skilled? It's because it's so technical. It involves just about everything you could think of in a PvP fight, man. You've got walkdowns, you've got timing, you've got telly stomps, you've got alternating role between aggressor and defensive player. It's very, very interesting. Very back and forth. What? The Bears? Are they a protected class now? Damn it. Damn it, man. Watch out, this ever-changing blue world. Guts to be careful. Toshank, standing next to the well, ready to go again. He didn't even need to go to Akara. He's just like, look, I used maybe one mana potion. Should be easy. That's what he's thinking. I believe it's 1-1 right now. I think if Helian, like I said, if Helian can do well here, that's a pretty good sign for him tonight. But oh my god, big punishment from Toshank early on. He wasn't kidding, man. When he said first one's free, he's gonna make you pay for the rest. Almost some Anderson Silva style shit here. Just kind of letting you have that first round, just dancing around, trying to get a feel for his opponent. And now it looks like he's really figured out Helian. He's at least figured out this strategy that Helian's employing there for round 2. But Helian also a very adaptive player. Very possible for him to switch it up here, get a little more aggressive, but man, he's unable to do it. And look at that, just like what we were talking about. You notice, as Helian was approaching Bandit, aka Toshank, the person we're watching right now, as he was approaching him, Toshank was sort of backing off a little bit, waiting for the approach, waiting for the engagement, but as soon as Toshank blew up those pets, Toshank was on top of him, changed the role, and turned into the aggressor. Now, again, it all comes down to it's a very technical matchup, because if he gets in a pattern of doing that too much, Helian can actually punish him, Dio style for it. If anybody's familiar with how Dio plays that matchup, he gets into these nasty defensive NATO patterns. And there it is again, another win from Toshank. Beautiful footwork, beautiful play on the Bone Necro right there. You won't see better. That was textbook how it should look. Absolutely insane. Very nicely played there. Nicely played from both players, really. Helian had some nasty locks there as well. Nasty aggression, nasty chains. This is NVD at the highest level of competition, boys. By the way, Brand, I see you, bro. I see you, brother. We're gonna have to head back to the station for that one. Got a special cheers going here. Oh my gosh, big early hits from Helian, but it ain't over till it's over. But at the same time, it usually comes down to who takes the most damage right off the bat. That means if you can score some damage early on, whether you're the Necro or the Druid, a lot of times, if you're up on life total, you can push the pressure when the opportunity presents itself. But you also have the ability to be a little bit more patient. You can say, okay, now I can pick my shots. Now if I can really catch him here, we could finish him in one slew of attacks. But it ain't over till it's over. Toshank landing nasty, oh my god, nasty bone spears, but he walks right into that NATO. You also notice Toshank hunting for those pets. Oh my god, beautiful up spear. He's hunting for those pets. And it's because in the time that it takes him to cast that bone spear in those frames, if he just clicks on those pets, it's sure to go straight to the player, whether he teleports or not. By the time that goes off, that spear's likely going right at the player. So that's why he's not necessarily too particular about grabbing the player's name on the screen as much as he is about grabbing his name, the pets, something that's going to travel with him when he teleports. Because that means when that spear goes off, it's going directly at his opponent. Fancy footwork there. Nice CT casting there as well. That's where you see oh my god, Helen gets a nasty stomp to finish up that round. I told you, man, oftentimes it comes down to who lands that big damage early on. You can be more patient, you can take your time. You can really wait for it. Yeah, that CT casting is when you see those screens pop up on the side of Toshank's play area here. He's trying to get more leverage for when he casts, especially in this matchup, very important. That means you can escape that druid. You can teleport further away, try to break those locks. Speaking of breaking things up a little bit, let's go back to the spaceship for a second. My dude, Brand, I see you, bro. Big cheers to you. Thank you so much for that 10 spot, man. We got the engine fluid that we're chugging on right now. Mix it with a little bit of vodka, because vodka goes with everything. But bro, big cheers to you. I really appreciate that. Let's cut back over. Let's all tip one back to Brand tonight, shall we? What a hell of a guy. What a hell of a way to start everything off. Probably won't do one directly. Oh my god, what? Toshank barely touched in that round. I believe now it's 3-2. To be honest, Dead Parrot, I probably won't. Mainly because we often try to work those sorts of things into other more interesting, more widely interesting videos. As much as I love PvP, there's not as broad of a range of people that actually care about it. It's better to piecemeal it and talk about things that matter towards something that's more widely used or widely accepted, such as you look at the most recent video, the Brawler Barb, right? It's sick. It's an insanely good PVM build that I believe also has the ability to be adapted to the best PvP barbarian, right? So there's a lot to that. There's a lot that you can talk about on that topic, right? And yeah, so when it comes down to it, I prefer to talk about things as they matter, because I feel like it actually does more service to the people that watch the videos as well. You might start watching the video because you like the build or something, or you're blown away by the build, and then you end up learning something about PvP. So you see what I'm saying? Like it covers the basis, but also does it in an appropriate way that might build more interest in it. Nasty bone spears there from Toshank. And he has an early lead in this one too. It's 3-2. And like I said, this duel can be over very quickly. It's not over till it's over. Helen could land a nasty stomp now, but he is in a lot of danger. Oh my god. Holy shit, RH. My guy. My guy. We'll cut back over to the spaceship after this as well. Thank you so much for that, man. Your office is in your garage, Tommy? Holy. That's... I hope you live in a warm climate area. That could get cold in the wintertime. All right, now Helen making a little bit of a comeback here, looking for a perfect stomp. Look, trying to be opportunistic here, not overcommit too much, because it could get him killed. And there it is, perfectly placed spear from Toshank, making it a 4-2 victory. He says GG's, bud. Just making it look easy, man. That's just some perfect necro play. Unbelievable. Wow. What an incredible way to start. Thank you guys for jamming that right up, starting it right up like that with some action. Hell of a way to start the stream. By the way, RH, my dude, thank you so much for that. Big cheers to you. We're going to put that right towards actually a sling for the arm. I'm going in for a surgery consultation on Monday. Can't wait. Should be, maybe I need it, maybe I don't. Fingers crossed I don't. But I was thinking about that today, dude. I was like, fuck. They're going to put me in a sling if they do this. Like, I'm going to be lamed up for like 6 weeks. Like, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to have to be on light duty. Instead of dueling against players, I'll have to, like, duel against Jamela. You know what I mean? Do some hardcore gambling. One-handed gambling. I was actually practicing it today. It's crazy. Regardless, it'll either go towards that or filling up this mug. One or the other, but both of them equally as good of a cause. RH, thank you so much, man, and a big cheers to you. If you're sipping on anything tonight, let's tip one back to RH and Brand L. These guys keeping the dream alive. Thank you guys so much. I'm just chilling on the Brawler Barb over here. It's, dude, look at this. We're a little over 60% of the way to 98. We're getting there. We're moving up slowly. I'm also going to keep an eye on the Discord here. Oh my God, I see Punch. I see Punch live. There's no shot he's going against Dio right now, really? No shot. Is he ready to go? Hold on. We got to pop over to this. A little bit of pixelation going on here. A little bit. I think he's testing some stuff. I think he's testing. I think he's trying to get some duels in. You know what? I actually just put together a druid. I was going to jam with him earlier because I think he has a very interesting build. I think he might be mixing some weird shit in here today. I think he might be trying out some weird shit for this duel. And when he does, we could see a debut of a very interesting barb. I'm going to see if I can cut over to his game. Hold on. Actually, I put together a druid. I just threw him together, dude. I put Primo's helm on it that he gave me. Or I should say, I don't even feel right about taking it. It's just a long-term borrow, right? That's the way I see it. I'm going to join up. Maybe he wants some druid practice. But this is it. Dude, this is something to put this in perspective, let you know how good of a guy Primo is. Not sure if you guys saw the message we posted in Discord the other day about, you know, the site we use to host all of these duels, right? The gamer.xyz. This site right here, where we host all of the DFC duels. These guys have done some great stuff for us in the past. That whole design with the fight card, all of that, so much technical difficulty, troubleshooting stuff that happened early on in the DFC. These guys were always right there, helping us out. This is literally like the best way to run such an event, right? Well, one of the creators of that site is getting back into D2. It's been a long time since he's played. I think like the last time he played was when D2R came out. And we made a post yesterday in the Discord about like, hey, this guy's just coming back. He's trying to build these characters. People came to the rescue, man. Hooked this guy up with some nasty gear. By the way, he's using the Mosaic Sin right off the bat. Dude, he is fucking loving it. Like, that build, he's fucking loving it. Well, to put it in perspective, all right? This helm right here is just something Primo popped in, was like, oh, you got a druid too? Here, take this helm. Primo just drops it, just gives it away to him. I can't even believe it. Like, this thing is sick. Well, come to find out, Bobby, he was like, dude, that helm is way out of my league, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't need it. Like, I'd feel bad taking it because I probably won't use it. And like, it's just out of my league. Too good. So I was like, all right, no, it's good for you to say that. I was like, I'll give it back to Primo. But Primo's like, hey, put it on your druid. So here it is. Yeah, real cute. Real cute pelt. Helen is live versus Foam. Oh, shit. All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's cut over to that. I do see a lot of people popping in here. This is sick. Okay, so is this the official match right here? Man, oh man, I hear it in the background. Let's get it all fired up. Man, I love the fact that these guys are just ready to go tonight, man. Ready to go. Big cheers. I think this is the official match. Is it? I think it is, yeah. This is Slapmonkey versus Helen. Yeah, Slapmonkey is Republican. Not the party, but his character in game.
I am overburdened.
Yep. Have dueled him plenty of times. Actually made some cuts into the Brawler Barb video. Back before he figured the build out. Took a different approach, different strategy. Then we were going back and forth, but it was more... He was catching it at the end. He was getting me. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is first round. All right, Helen got some practice in versus Toshank. The real question is our boy, the real newcomer, is he going to be good enough to take this guy out? Is he going to be on Toshank's level? Or is this nasty aggression here from Helen, the nasty pressure, that savage chain locking right there, is that going to be what gets him the duel? Also see him doing a little bit of double tallying this time. Very important tactic here as a druid. Once you grab that name lock, you can almost assume that the Necro knows that you're going to stomp, right? So their first immediate move usually is either to walk down or to teleport away. But if you get in the habit of grabbing the name and double teleporting on them, meaning you don't just immediately stomp, you hold down the teleport button instead. What that does is it repositions you to where they're at, just like that, and then he fires. It's 2 teleports, then a fire. It's almost like the 1-2 punch combo in boxing, right? You get into the habit of doing it, eventually it's going to land, right? And it's just a good habit to get into. It's a nice follow-up, and it's certainly something that no matter what you're doing, it's hard to plan around, right? It's something you always have to be wary of. Not something you can so easily fight back against. And now we see Slapmonkey backing off a little bit. He's using those Bone Spirit trains, trying to fire him up a little bit more. And you can tell Helen has gotten some nasty damage in here early on. And now what I think he's doing, what I think his opponent is doing, is trying to rely on getting a Bone Spirit train. That was a sneaky lock that Helen just held right there all the way across screen. Surprised he wasn't able to capitalize on that a little more. That was very sneaky. And there it is, a nice spear from Slap. I think it's probably his graphical settings. I've seen this happen. This used to happen with my Necro's hair. Instead of being white, it was black. I think it's like a graphical setting that you can have, like whether you're... It's hard to tell exactly what it is, but you see it on some people. Now, this is going to be rough. I was going to say, he's just going to hold that telelock now. You saw Helen bring his opponent down to basically dead, right? We knew as soon as that happened, he was just going to hold telly. You saw him recenter his mouse there and just hold down teleport. The reason he did that is because the Necro was so low at that point, he was very likely what's called Hurricane PK. You see that, what looks like a dust storm just kind of chilling around this druid, just following him around. Looks like fucking Linus from Peanuts. Like, that's a hurricane and it does cold damage. It doesn't do much, but it's most useful a lot of times for just adding cold damage, forcing your opponent to have cannot be frozen against a physical damage character, which is an interesting combo, an interesting cold check for a caster. But every once in a while, when you get your opponent low enough, it can actually finish them. It's sort of like Mind Blast in the sense that, you know, not as useful, obviously, but similar in the sense that it can actually finish people when they get low enough in life. And here it is. Hellion off to a great start again here. Doing some big damage early on. And now we have Slap getting a little bit fancy with his footwork there. Those were beautiful spears. And he had that nice zigzag pattern, which is something that certainly Hellion wasn't used to there. He wasn't... that's not something we saw from Toshank. This is something... This is an original... This is an original play right here from Slap. And I gotta say, I like it. It makes it harder to predict where he's going to be at, especially if you get into this pattern at close range with the Necro, which you see a lot in this matchup. In the Necro v Druid, you'll see the Necro walking down in a certain direction. Well, the problem is, if they get predictable, the Druid can cut them off. They're not, and he doesn't have to worry about stomping and hoping that his timing is right. You could just cut the Necro off if he gets predictable, get in front of him, and throw a NATO, and then it's just devastating. But if you do that zigzag pattern like we just saw from Slapmonkey there, it gets really harder to predict where you're going to be at. Especially if you're inconsistent with the zigzag pattern. That's the thing, you don't want to be predictable in this matchup. Now, we see Hellion going right back for that Hurricane PK again. He actually had him. He could have finished with a NATO right there, but he was just holding Telelock, hoping that he killed him with that. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Hellion is such a great FPK player, man. Oh my god, Slapmonkey coming back with some big hits there. Now Hellion, now we've got a duel, boys. I don't think Slapmonkey is Hurricane PK yet. He is very low, but he's not Hurricane PK. It would certainly take an awkward amount of telelocks to finish him with that. And now we see Hellion turning up the heat here, really trying to get in on this. Oh my god, and a big comeback from Slapmonkey. Who would have expected that? Hellion trolling and got punished. I think he thought that was going to be a lot easier there, but I'm telling you, there's a reason we match these guys up. It's hard to tell exactly where Slapmonkey's skill level is at, but I can tell from dueling him a lot. He's not a bad Necro. This guy knows what he's doing. And I think Hellion might be figuring that out here. This guy knows what he's doing. He ain't no nub. This guy, you can tell. Just some people, the way they play, you can just tell. LOD player. This guy played back in LOD. Yeah, that was big. Yeah, I think I could feel that though. I believe Hellion might have been getting a little too comfortable there, being at such a high life total, trying to do that Hurricane PK finish. But that's what I mean. You can tell that not only is Slapmonkey ready for that cold check, he has cannot be frozen on. That's why you don't see his character turning blue, right? He's not getting slowed down. He does have cannot be frozen, but he also must have an adequate amount of cold resist because he's not taking an unreasonable amount of damage from that Hurricane.
I am overburdened.
I like this. Hellion refreshing him about the rules of the DFC in all technicality. There's a bit of a difference in FPK and DFC matchups. They ban teeth in this duel. I don't think they should. I say teeth kind of forces your opponent into bear instead of having to make the agreement. But I guess maybe they just did that to save some time, right? It's possible that FPK rules did that to save some time. But it just happens to be how a lot of Druid versus Necro matchups go anyway. A lot of times we'll see the Druid revert to the bear. We'll see the Necro not use teeth. Bit of a gentleman's agreement. Yeah, dude, I actually was in some of those terror zones. I was in, I think I was in a terror zone with Republican a little earlier when it was Tombs. I saw him leveling up, man. Yeah, he's taking it serious. He's getting that Necro up there. I think he's making a run for it. Oh, nice stomp from Helen. He didn't quite have the name lock there, but you can tell from the sound effect that NATO, as soon as he launched it, that connected. Now, it's hard to tell exactly how much damage it did, but you can certainly tell it connected. Yeah, it did some big damage. And Helen takes some bone spirits. Now Slap making Helen chase him. I like this. Kind of not... Oh, man. I was going to say he's not really engaging in the close toe-to-toe. I think he's trying to lull. I think he's trying to lull Helen to sleep. Make him think he's always going to run. And then he's going to change directions and just start firing those spears. I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to break the concentration of Helen right now. To get him in this pattern, make him think he's always going to run, like he's scared of him or something. And then he's going to do just that. He's gonna pop in, get a sneaky spear, do this walk down combo. There it is. Like, I like that strategy. Told you can't underestimate this guy. Nice telly lock there from Helen, but Slapmonkey is very low in life right now. Beautiful. Oh man, I think again he might have been. It's hard to tell if Helen was looking for the name lock there or if he was trying to finish with Hurricane PK. It's really risky doing that, and he's getting cut up by those spears. Are we going to see a repeat of round 2 here? Or round 3? The last round. Whatever we're on. By the way, Dong, what's up, dude? Big cheers to you, brother. Welcome, welcome.
Greetings.
And there it is. Helen gets there. Yeah, this guy is pro druid, man. This Helen is a very good FPK player. What I mean by that, there's a whole slew of classes that they lump into this category called FPK, which I believe stands for Fun PK. Back in the day, it was actually just FPK. It didn't necessarily stand for anything in particular. There was rumors as to what it stood for. Fun PK, Fair PK. But it was kind of a combination of both. It was what people would consider the most fair and balanced characters in LOD. And they would just, they had a whole dueling group out of it. You couldn't use a barb, a sorceress, or a din. That was it. And that still exists in D2R, that sort of category, that sort of style of dueling. And Helen is just very seasoned on all of those FPK characters. The Sin, the Druid, the Barb, the Necro. That's what this guy plays. Like, those are his main. Like, it's hard to actually tell what his main is these days because he's so good on all of those. Like, this dude's been doing some FPK for sure. Sneaky stomps there from Helen. I call it the no cheese PK. Yeah, it doesn't start with F though, so it's clearly wrong, Maddie. Shut up, Maddie. And I can promise you, I could find a way to cheese that shit, all right? I could find a way. I haven't even looked at the rules, honestly. You don't think I step into that FPK, I can find a way to cheese it? Sounds like more of a challenge to me. By the way, what's up, Laser? Bro, thanks again for that 10 wisp, man. Really appreciate it. And some big bone spirit hits there from Slapmonkey. Ooh, a nice cut there from Helen, but he didn't punish his opponent for it. I don't think he noticed that he cut him off so well there. This duel can be so fast-paced. I mean, you have frames to punish your opponent. You have... You not only have that small window. Here it is, Hurricane PK. I was going to say, he's waiting on that Hurricane/Bear PK. He definitely had it that time. What an incredible duel. Why did it just stop my telly? Probably Bear, yeah. Bear KB. That's why the Bear is pretty good versus casters in this matchup. That Bear can just randomly reach out, touch somebody. And when they do, it knocks them out of that teleport animation, which is very key for a druid that's got that telly lockdown. Because that, I mean, you might think, oh, they're just FHR frames, man. They'll be out of it eventually. Well, the thing is, the druid just only needs that small window of time where you stop teleporting. And he can teleport on top of you and throw a NATO. Sure, it might take you 7-8 frames to recover. But that's a long time in this duel. That's a very long time. When you're thinking that you might have 1 or 2 frames to catch most opponents or cut them off or figure out what they're doing or try to get in their mind a little bit, there's very few frames you have to do that. 7 or 8 frames, wherever it takes that Necro to recover, long time. Long time. Yeah, Bear just wants to say hi. That's it. I'd be down for that, Foozer. Yeah, I want to get better at FPK. Problem is a lot of times when I go into, like, if I try to join groups of FPK, people show no fucking mercy. Like, that's why I think I have actually not dueled on a Druid and a Necro in a very long time, is because, like, I feel like they're just... FPK is this weird class, like, where you have your savage players at it, where when you play against them, you're gonna feel like you never want to play it again. But it's also very... You have to be careful. Like, you have to kind of build up, right? You have to learn the class. I'm at this point where, like, I know the Necro. I know it enough to call it. But playing it is a different story. Same with the Druid. So, yeah. Long story short, I would be interested. You have to send your worst players my way. Send them the worst ones. I want the worst of the worst. I want them bad. All right? And they're still going to win. No, the duel is up. GG. Thanks, Coolio. I think this one could almost be over right here. Helen is very close to cinching this up. And now he's paying for it, man. Now he's getting caught by some of these bone spirits. We do see Slapmonkey taking a little bit different of an approach here, trying to really punish Hellian's choice to use this bear. What he's doing is he's employing the Vamp the Champ strategy with this mushroom cloud. This is some high level shit. He's throwing these bone spirit trains, especially now that he's low on life. And he's teleporting to the end of them and just launching. Look at this. It kind of looks like a mushroom cloud, right? You have the bone spirits for the stem. And then at the top of it, you have this spread of teeth that's going to try to wipe out the pets and clear the way for that nasty train of bone spirits.
I am overburdened.
That's usually what we would see from previous champion Necros when they were in a lot of trouble, right? Such as Vamp the Champ. It was a signature strategy when he was in trouble. And now we're seeing that from Slapmonkey. I'm telling you, this guy knows what's up. This guy is a seasoned player. Most Necros, I think, would be discouraged and just fold here. But it's so good to see that Slap has actually implemented a strategy here that might allow him to come back in this duel. He's very, very low, and that's the thing. Let's try to cut over to his point of view, see how low exactly he is. Yeah, he is very low. And his battle orders is out here. He's gonna have to recast that when the pressure isn't on. He's risking a lot not having it active. Oh man, but he's also risking by going for that battle orders. Man, oh man. Oh, look at this, Helen being gentleman over here. He's saying, Bo, yeah, that's fine. He didn't mean to crack him like that. Good dude. By the way, I see you, Jerry Beatty. Thanks, brother. We'll head over to the spaceship before the next duel for a special cheers to that, brother. Really, really appreciate it. Nice locks there from Helen and a great escape from Slapmonkey. This is some high-level shit. I told you guys. I don't feel bad about making this matchup right here. And Slap just scored some more hits with that Bone Spirit train. He's really trying to bait him into this. He's going all in on this right now. But Helen, unfortunately, got ahead of the train, got ahead of the strategy. And there it is. Very nicely done. Good fucking duel, man. I told you, this guy might be something to watch out for right here. Slapmonkey is a savage. Today just wasn't his day versus Helen. Helen also an FPK savage, man. But holy shit, what a duel. By the way, Jerry Beatty, big cheers to you, man. Thank you so much. Not sure when it's going to come in through the ship here. You know, it's A lot of technical difficulties here today, but I just want to say, bro, I see you, and I really appreciate that, man. This finally shows a year. Bro, I can't thank you enough. Where did the time go? Seems like we just started this little sub-channel right here. Man, that's awesome. Big cheers, brother. Let's see what else we've got. All right, we've got some people. We've got some people streaming up in here. Montreana as well. I did see Montreana up in here. Let's see if we can pop in. This guy, very, very creative bard player. Is he he might be in a pub here. It looks like there's a lot of people. He might just be goofing around. He might, yeah, look at this. Clear pub. Clear pubs going on here. All right. Dude, I wish I could see names while I'm streaming, but unfortunately streamer mode goes on, so all I see is G. I'm gonna have to deactivate this. I fucking hate this. Gabriel. All right, that's who it is. That's who it is. Gabriel is up. This is who we're looking at right now. All right, let's see what we've got. Let's see what the matchup is. Take a quick look at the card. This is Gabriel versus Jito PVP, Din v Neck. This could be a very interesting one right here. I think these guys are going to put on a show. That's faux damn show. Going to put on a show. A little bit of echo, so I'm gonna cut the audio there. I think that's what we had to do last week. You remember last week when we had like the wicked echo? I figured out why that was. Discord was all fucked up, and it made it so that like people had to share. They couldn't share their Diablo screen. They had to like share their actual computer screen because Discord was just being fucky that day. And in light of that, when people do that, we also get, if they're listening to the stream in the background, we'll also hear that. So that's why we got to mute the audio here. But this is going to be pretty insane, man. Right off the bat, we can see that Gabriel is hunting for these name locks, keeping that Oak Sage up, which is very, very important in this matchup. Some people call this fun, this matchup right here. Honestly, I think it is. I enjoy doing Necro v Din. I say that until I would run into like a very, very good Necro player on my Din, and then it would feel demoralizing. I would hate the duel. But all else being equal, it is a pretty fun duel. What we're going to see from Gabriel here is he's going to be looking for these name locks, looking for these chains, and trying to find ways to get on the inside and close the distance, smite his opponent, right? Meanwhile, we have Jito, who's actually playing in a very respectable Necro way here. He's giving these opportunities. He's not, oh my god, nasty lock from Gabriel. He almost got the three-piece combo there. He almost locked him up with that three-piece. Gabriel showing off what he's got. Get back in game with Drew, by the way. Yeah. All right, dude. Are we still waiting on Dio? Trying to get some practice rounds in. I might do that after if we run into a little bit of a lull here. We got some people who are streaming. So I want to check these duels out, man. But yeah, I'm down for some practice, dude. But yeah, the style that Jito plays in is just every duel is always exciting with these guys. Like when any duel that Jito's in, man, a little bit of lag coming there from. I cannot believe he got that. Gabe was teeth PK, 75 life. Nasty comeback right there. A little bit of a screen lag there. Like I can't tell if his Client was lagging, he was lagging, maybe a little bit of both, but regardless, for him to come back and take that round, that was pretty savage. That was nasty. All right, let me start taking some notes here. We've got to get fight of the night going, performance of the night, all the fun stuff. All right, fight of the night. Let's put down Helen v. Toshank. We'll count it. We'll count it. We'll chuck it in there. I also think Slapmonkey versus Helen was really good. That was nasty. Very good duel. And now we've got Jito PVP versus Gabriel. And what we're going to see from Jito PVP, usually what you would see versus lesser Necros and less exciting players is just constant Bone Spirit spam all across the map, right? Like, that's basically all the Necro, all that most Necros can do in this matchup. And granted, that's how they start a lot of their exchanges in this matchup, regardless of how ballsy they tend to get. You'll often see that exchanges will start with that Bone Spirit train, right? But the exciting Necros will occasionally stay in it and invite these close quarter combat duels just like that, walking down, throwing the spear, waiting for his opponent to run into his train, like trying to engage and bait his opponent in, which I think is very important in this matchup if you're the Necro, especially if you set up that train, that big Bone Spirit train. What I mean by that is you see those multiple white looking spirit balls flying across the sky in this game, right? Like, it's possible to land just about all of those on top of your opponent all at once, and that's pretty devastating. That can end the fight pretty quickly. But the thing is, it's tough to do that, right? Because they move so slow. So you often have to set it up. So it's very important, I think, for the Necro to sort of tease the din a little bit, right? Like, you set up the train and then you sort of tease him into it. Tease him into staying there, getting a little ballsy, taking too long to look for a name lock, right? That's really how to do it. And then when they get on the inside like that, just like Jito's doing, follow up with that Bone Spear. The Bone Spear is so fast. That travels a lot faster than the Bone Spirit. It will force the Paladin to grab that name lock, to get on the inside, close the distance, and actually make something of his time very quickly. So that is definitely the right play there from Jito PvP. He's doing a great job on that Necro, but so is Gabe on this din, man. Just hunting for those name locks, looking for his opportunity. Yeah, I'm down for that, Nate. That'd be sick. Nate v. Helen. Look, don't believe this guy. Hellian's probably going to send you a message like, hey, I'm new. Do you have any items I can borrow for our duel? I'm new. Don't believe him, Nate. You've seen him. Don't believe him. Very nice finish there from Gabe. Was able to close the distance. That's very hard to do on a Necro, man. And it's also one of those things that if you're playing on a din, you can't really get too greedy. You can't get too greedy. And what I mean by that is when you get in there and you actually get a smite on your opponent, you have to be aware of what's going on. If there's bone spirits that are on the map, those things will home in on you. So you get your hit in, you get your crushing blow, your actual smite damage, you crack that bone armor, possibly even open wounds, maybe even set up a combo. But you don't just commit to that smite too much. You don't just click and hold the smite, right? Sometimes you got to be willing to get in and out of there. And it looks like Gabe's definitely got that down. He has a healthy understanding of that. And that's what he did there, just slowly picked him apart that whole duel. That was nuts. Very nicely done so far. I knew this was going to be an exciting duel. Technically, the matchup favors the Necro. So to see Gabe 2-0 so far, very impressive. Yeah. Yeah, Nate, just tell him you're new, too. We'll tell him you're new. Yep. Yeah, Hellion is not new. He's this guy, don't let him fool you. All right? That used to be his signature saying until it just got old. Right? He used to tell people, sorry, I'm new. After he beat them in the DFC. They had insult to injury. You don't believe him. Treat him like he's Toshank. About to go versus Vowels shortly. GG. Speaking of Toshank, there he is. What's up, Gogators? Sick, dude. All right, we'll pop over to that next. That was an interesting exchange there. So we had Jito PVP accidentally close the distance on the Din, but choose not to run away. He was actually launching a few Bone Spirits there, but I think what just happened is that the Necro was just in this weird spot where that or he was launching his Bone Spirits a little too far, not necessarily next to his character, because those Bone Spirits weren't latching on to the opponent, right? Like, weren't latching on to Gabe. They just kept going, right? They weren't doing any damage. Now we see Jito in a bit of trouble here. He's in a little bit of FPK trouble. Just a tad bit. Are these real right here, or is this like lagged spaceship shit? You know what? I think regardless, it's grounds for a cheers. I think it's big grounds for a cheers. Thomas Huddleston, RH et al. Guys, thank you so much. Wow, this is insane. It's so crazy to see Gabriel playing on this Din. As we saw last week, this guy, you can't underestimate him, man. This guy is surprisingly good on a Din. Like, he joined up, we're like, oh man, okay, we got a Din player here. We got a Din player, all right? I was very impressed. I was very impressed with this guy's style. This guy is a savage Din player. Very patient. Very patient, looking for his opportunities, his locks, and he can really punish players. He's one of those types of guys that he has the ability to do the three-piece. We haven't seen any like nasty three-piece locks yet, but you can tell they're probably not far away. And there it is, man. You can tell he has the ability to do it. He might just be waiting for the opportunity. Right? And that makes the difference between your average Din and a good Din. Can they pull off that three-piece? And look at this. Gabe showing off the gear here. Nicely built VT. Very good gear. Beautiful setup. Thanks for showing that off, Gabe. That's cool, dude. Yeah, he says, nice catches. I lagged in the third round. That's what it was, dude. That was very nicely done. I gotta say, well played from Jito too. Mad respect to this guy, because it's like I said in the beginning of that duel, this guy could easily just lates across the map, right? With Bone Spirits, and really, like, we see that with Necro players sometimes, like, especially when they get connected on, they get in trouble. It's just, in a competitive duel, they're gonna wait for the call. And, man, you don't see that with Jito. Just not his style, not the way he plays. All right, let's see what we've got up next. GG's, boys. That was an awesome fight. All right, so I see... All right, where are you at, Gogators? Let me turn off my streamer mode here again so I can see names in the Discord. Turn off the streamer. All right, there we go. All right, let's check it out. This is Gogators. Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was still Gabe or if it was Gogators. Now I gotta activate it again. Otherwise, you'll hear all the Discord notifications. See, that's the one thing that happens is, like, when you have OBS up, Discord will recognize that there's like you might be streaming, so it will cut all of these background noises that it makes and everything, like when you get a message or whatnot, when people jump in and out of a voice channel. But it will also, for some dumb reason, truncate everybody's name and show you like the first letter of everybody's name, which I think is really dumb. Like, especially if you're kind of relying on looking at different screens in Discord, because like, you know, for like Montreana, I'll just see M. For Gogators, I see G. So that could be Gabe or Gogators or what, like, and I have no way to see it while I'm streaming. It's unless I undo that. Yeah, GG, Javita. That was very nicely done, man. That was an incredible duel. All right, let's pop over to this. All right, this is Gogators, the man, the myth, on a barb here today. Gogators versus GVN. I'm not sure why he's on a barb. He was supposed to... Wait. Oh, no, never mind. He was supposed to be on a barb. His opponent was the one that I erroneously put up for this matchup. I put that GVN was on a Zon, which is a character that GVN has played a lot. And, you know, I think I just had a mental misstep there. But GVN signed up again this week on a Sin. So we're going to see some Barb v Sin in this matchup with GVN. Playing from the great state of Kauai. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of a server switch here. Every once in a while that happens. When you get people playing from far different places in the United States, sometimes you'll have somebody that has ping like, you know, like Gogators here with 31, Canadian style ping. Then other times you'll see sometimes GVN dialing in, playing on 130 ping. Or is this Vowels? Who? Wait, what are we looking at here? Wait a minute now. Am I thinking of the wrong duel? I might be looking at the wrong duel. I am. Never mind. Gogators on here twice tonight. Gogators got 2 opponents. I was looking at the wrong duel. This is versus Vowels. My bad, but it's still some good old Sin v Barb. So this guy is prepared tonight. This guy is prepared. Yeah, thanks, Helen. Appreciate it. Now, this matchup certainly favors the Sin. However, Gogators, there's a reason this guy was matched up with a little bit of a disadvantage here. Vowels doesn't necessarily have the DFC experience behind him, right? It doesn't have all of these fights inside the virtual octagon, if you will. But Gogators does. This guy has shown and proven. This guy, some might remember, very famous, I guess you could call it a DFC meme surrounding this dude. This guy had a title shot against the notorious Vamp the Champ, best Necro player in D2 history. Very sneaky name lock there from Gogators, and he finishes round 1. This is what I mean. This matchup technically favors the Sin. And heavily. And by heavily, I mean, like, significantly over 50%. Between 50 and 60%. Right? Like, so it's approaching 60%, which means it's pretty heavily in favor. But it really does depend, I think, on the experience, right? With the matchup. And Gogators certainly has some big experience with this. But Vowels certainly has a slight advantage. He almost got there in that round. And as time goes on, Vowels is going to have a few rounds here to figure out Gogators' style. See if he can punish him. See if he can get a feel for when he's locked versus Gogators. Gogators is very sneaky with those locks. That one right there, it looked like he came from, you know, if you were looking from Vowels' perspective there, it probably looked like he came out of nowhere. Like he was 2 screens away and suddenly got telly-stomped. Well, he did. But that was just because Gogators had he's very quick. You see his cursor. He's always just looking for that name, and he's very quick at grabbing it. Just like this right here. Very nice name grab. And what that allows him to do is while he's hunting for that name lock, he'll grab it, he'll return that cursor to the center of the screen, and he'll keep it locked. It's like it's in its pocket. He's just waiting to fire that away when his opponent least expects it. So he's going to wait. He's going to hold it there with like a throw or something that doesn't force him to teleport on top of his opponent so he can hide it, right? He can hide the fact that he has that name lock. The second that he sees his opponent get a little bit flat-footed, that's when he's going to fire it off. and he's going to be directly on top of him. So that's how he gets those sneaky name locks from all the way across screen like that. But now you see Vowels taking that a little bit more seriously. Looking to set him up with these combos, not give him the opportunity to name lock as much. He's catching on. But now you see Gogators going in with that precision accuracy as well. See, that's also something, if you don't have the name lock, if you're really good at, utilizing that CT casting, where there's, giving yourself a little bit more leverage, a little bit more distance by bringing up the character or the skill tab screen. If you're good at aiming that, you can get in there real close and be very accurate, even without having a name lock. That's the key with the Barb, man. If you're just straight whirlwind, you got to close that distance. You got to be able to get in there. It's one of the most aggressive playstyles of any class that, and as it should be. But man, it takes a special kind of player. Gogators, certainly that kind of player. This guy's very aggressive, very accurate with his stomps, his locks, just very keen on a class like this. Yeah, and you gotta be quick. Yeah, I think in this matchup versus the Sin, I wouldn't be surprised if the Barb is going 85-20 with T-Gods and Wisp, which is allowed in DFC and in D2R, really, mainly because of all of the changes that they've given to the Assassin. They've actually bumped up her trap damage, like, pretty significantly. It used to be an LOD that whenever you had items that would minus enemy light res, they didn't work with traps. Or, alternatively, if you had items that gave +2 lightning damage, they didn't work with traps. Traps counted as minions. Well, they might still count as minions, but all of those abilities now work in D2R. That being the case, the Sin was good before that change happened, and now they're extremely good. And especially when you have the Sin being so versatile. She has so many attacks. She has the Shadow Bay, which can do a lot of damage for her, but also Mind Blast. Some are Whirl Girls that actually will whirlwind as well with the Chaos rune word. There's a lot of tricks the Sin has up her sleeve. So in light of that, to sort of balance things out, give people a chance, going up against a character that does savage lightning damage with AI traps, like up to 5 AI traps on the screen at once, we kind of just allowed players to have more lightning absorb, just to give them more of an opportunity to get in there, try to finish, a little bit more survivability. And as you can see, I believe that's the setup that Gogators is going with, and you can see how close these duels are even still. Yeah, Vowels actually doing an incredible job versus an opponent like this guy. Gogators ain't nobody to shake a stick at, man. This guy's a savage, and Vowels is getting in there. These duels are close. It might be, honestly, Coolio, probably a fair point. We might need a little more data of Barb versus Sin, because I don't think we have much since we made that change. Because until recent history, not many people popped in on a Barb. Like, it was just so underrated. But it might be a little closer now. You might be right. Like, the fairness of the match might be a little closer. Because all it takes from that Barb is just a couple of good whirls, man, and the Sin is in trouble. Even if you got that full DR. Oh, here's the other thing that's just crazy about Sins, right? Not only do they have the weapon block, which can block not only whirlwind hits, like the physical damage hits, but just about any attack in the game. We're talking hammers, blizz, fireball, meteors, so much shit. Even other traps, right? They can block a lot of shit with that weapon block, but they also have just these inherent nasty buffs, such as Fade, which a lot of people know that increases your resistance, but some people don't know that it also increases your damage reduction. So whatever level your Fade is at, it adds that much damage reduction when you have it cast. So it's very easy for a dual class Sin that hits max cast to have a very decent amount of damage reduction on her too. Like, the build versatility on a Sin is so huge. Like, the tools, the tricks that she has up her sleeve are just endless. And honestly, I say if it is more fair for the Barb, I say great. But in a lot of duels, though, even in recent history, when we've seen Sin v Barb, the Sin usually wins. Usually. Yeah, your total level of Fade equals your DR. So if you have a level 30 Fade, you have 30% DR added when you cast it. And that's not hard points. That's literally the level of it. So your skill charms count. Your plus to skills gear will add to it. Like, it's a very, very efficient killer, as you would expect from a class named the Assassin. Yes, it does. It reduces curse and poison duration. That skill is so nuts. Like, Fade is so nuts. And now we see Gogators in a little bit of trouble. Vowels might be figuring out his style a little bit here, not giving his as much opportunities to get those name locks. And you can tell that Gogators is very familiar with this matchup, because even though Vowels didn't have him Mind Blast locked there, the way that you just saw Gogators whirl away, he was assuming that his opponent did. Like, he was just assuming. He's like, I know I have to whirl out of this very intense situation. And who knows? Vowels could be next level in him throw locking. I don't know why you would do that on a Sin, but you could. And then really fragging him up good when he gets, you know, when he thinks he's safe and then suddenly he's not. That could be some next level shit on a Sin. And now we see Gogators in trouble. I don't know if I'd say Gogators winning this. Vowels might be, I'm going to guess, somewhere around 25-30% life, possibly. Still probably one hit. All that Gogators is going to need is one big opportunity to get in there. One big mistake from Vowels. But you see Gogators kind of staying on the outside now. He's a little scared of those traps. He doesn't want to get caught in those. He's very, very low now. Vowels now is going to have to spread these traps out. With how Gators is playing, he's going to have to spread them out a little bit and try to bait Gators into him. Right? He knows Gators is going to come in from these wide, wild angles. He's going to have to bait him into it just like that. That was a beautiful play. He had those traps set up. He kind of spread them a little wide. And as soon as Gogators committed to an angle, boom, he set him up good. And there it is. Very nicely played from Vowels. I told you, man, he's going to have a couple of rounds where he could get Gogators' cadence down. And he could really figure it out. Yeah, can't up NATO on a Barb. Yeah, for sure. But honestly, Gogators has always been an aggressive player, even on a Barbarian. Or I'm sorry, even on a Druid. He's just always been an aggressive player. That's always been his style. So happy to see this guy back, because he was one of the most aggressive players in the DFC. So happy to see this guy on the card, especially on a Barb. One of the classes that requires the most aggression. I think very fitting for Gogators' playstyle. Let me see, actually. Let me see if he's streaming it. Vowels is. Let's pop in from the Sin side, see what's going on. A little bit darker on this side, but crisp. Very crisp. All right, let's see what it looks like. This is Vowels' perspective right here on the Sin. Interesting there. Can't tell if that was his Shadow Bay doing that dragon flight or if that was a misclick, but he certainly did come right close to Gogators there. That could have been deadly. Also, keeping up the Shadow Bay in this particular matchup, the Shadow Master, not only do you have the weapon block, which can block that Whirlwind, but Shadow Bay can also tank a hit for you. And the way that Whirlwind works is it can only hit so many things on any given frame. I think it can only hit one target on any given frame. Like, it can't pierce, right? Nice locks there from Gogators. So that Whirlwind could just hit the Shadow Master, right? Instead of the player, which is exactly what the Sin player is hoping for when she has that Shadow Master up. Now we see Vowels in a little bit of trouble here. See Gogators backing off a little bit. He might also be in trouble just based on his playstyle here. He might be low in life. I kind of want to see, but I also don't want to. I don't want to miss a damn thing. Like, this could be over so quick. Let's just pop over.
I am overburdened.
No, he's fine. No, he's fine. Dude is fine. Yeah, so he was just trying to play a little bit of red herring there. Very nice chain, insane pressure from Gogators. And now this is gonna one Vowels here. This is gonna put him to 1. He is in some danger. He's gonna have to make sure to keep that Shadow Bay up. Gonna have to make sure to dance around these traps, try to bait Gogators into it. Right now, though, Gogators has such a good life total. At least did a few seconds ago when we checked. So he can afford to just take a little bit of a risk there, right? Come up from these, just like he did right there, come up from these weird CT casted angles that his opponent never sees coming. That might be the type of risk we see him take here. And you can see him jockeying from the outside there, walking around. He was trying to set up a CT cast. He wasn't I don't think he was baiting there. I think he was actually just trying to set up a perfect angle to CT in at, waiting for his opponent to start casting traps, start committing to that angle, and then try to CT up on him. I think he was just taking his time, picking his shots. That's a good observation, Max. Not as confident in Mind Blast. And it could be because, you know, Gogators might do that to people because he's so aggressive. If you take too long, as we've seen, you know, I'm sure Vowels is familiar with it. I'm sure he knows he has to do it. But the challenge is there was a couple of rounds there where he took a little more frames than he should, trying to get that Mind Blast lock. And Gogators punished him for it. And there it is. Gogators gets there on the barb. 4-1 victory for this guy. That's a big welcome back. And a big welcome to the DFC for Vowels. Tough opponent, man, for sure. Very tough opponent, but a good duel. Well played on behalf of both players. I think Vowels was figuring him out there, but I think you were right, Max. Just a little bit more confidence in the Mind Blast, I think, would have gone a long way. But again, if you just, I probably would have played the same way. If you take a little too long against somebody like Gogators, like, you have to be sharp with it. You have to be quick because they will punish you if you're not. But there it is. Gogators. I'm going to pop into Punch's stream here, see what's going on. Yeah, he's still just chilling in this game. Montreana, how we looking? Montreana still in pubs? Or is he ready to go? He might just be jamming in pubs. I think he's hard telling what's going on here. Hard telling. All right, just give me the heads up in chat, Montreana, if you're ready. I saw he's streaming this barb play here, which is cool, but it looks like he was just you know, kind of jamming in pubs for a little bit. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, no, he is. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. This is the actual opponent. He is ready to go. All right, GG. This is Montreana versus Tor on the Necro. Technically a matchup that favors the barb, but Montreana goes for the style, dude. He's got a very stylish barb. And looks for that range, looks for that damage. He also might have a BVA because with these Colossus blades that he uses, there's a bigger commitment into dexterity, which kind of opens the door to have a max block build if you need it. Insane Zerk there from Montreana. Very nice kill. You love seeing it, man. And it's even more impressive. Oh, okay, look at this. He's got 99% increased attack speed, 71% faster cast. So he actually hits, what is it, the 65 breakpoint on a barb? I'm telling you, dude, this guy gets creative with his barb setups. There's not many barbs that hit the 65% breakpoint. A lot of them settle, myself included, settle for that 37, which is often good enough because the Barbarian class shares the same amount of cast, the same cast frames as the Sorceress. even though it's a completely physical damage character, you wouldn't assume that a barbarian could cast just as fast as a sorceress, but he can. So a lot of times just having 40% or 37% technically is good enough for a lot of people. Not Montreana. He's going to the next breakpoint to be even faster. But in doing so, he is giving up that nature's peace, which is what a lot of barbs use in this matchup to sort of implement that. Oh my god, that was close. He almost got that Zerk in there. To have his to have an Oak Sage up, which is important in the duel, because when the Necro gets these Bone Spirit trains going, that Oak Sage can block some of those for you, especially the random ones that you don't see coming. So it's an interesting sacrifice that he's made that can certainly pay off, but it can also be a detriment. But that is Montreana's style. Take a risk, do something different, put people's back against the ropes with something that they're not necessarily ready for. Yeah, that's big. It's all about fun, dude. And I absolutely love seeing Montreana's barbs, dude. Every time this guy pops in here on one of these, it looks different. He's got the swords, like he's got actual blades. How fucking nasty does that look, dude? Looks like he's got a COA this time. It could be because of that IAS. He showed off that 99% IAS. That fast attack speed. Which could also be a reason for the swords. Is the attack speed a little faster? Is it better for Zerk? If so, that's nuts. Clutch call. But also you are giving up beasts in using swords, which also increases your attack speed. So it's an interesting trade, but I would expect no less from this guy. Yeah, beast is best. That's what I thought. I thought the added fanaticism war would just kick you over the top with it. Oh my god, is Montreana doing what I think he's doing? Wait a minute. There's no shot he's doing what I think he's doing. No, that's what I was gonna say. That's a war cry knife. Okay. I was like, is bro going brawler? I saw that it wasn't ethereal. All right, sick, Gogators. By the way, nice duel on that last one, man. That was sick. Very nicely done. See if Gogators can get there versus GVN. All right, looks like that. What is that helm? Did it have a facet in it? The fook was that? Faceted helm. Interesting. I think he does that to get real creative with the enchant that he has. Right? So he's casting enchant, which it's a level 21 enchant off from Demon Limp. And if he's punishing his opponent with minus fire res plus fire damage, that's kind of hilarious. Like, can you imagine? They prepare for a barb, their fire res is super low, and they're taking so much through, like, especially with a Necro, through bone armor and all of this because their fire res is so low. This is pink lemonade and vodka, my dude. Use Fort Zerk for... Oh my god, sound, that's genius. Fort Zerk for 105 FCR. Holy shit. I never even heard of that. That's genius. I might be keeping myself some 4-socket Zerker axes now. I'd be looking for those. He actually charged me a John to show me his swords. LOL. Look, the dude's a businessman, all right? How do you think he affords this stuff? This dude ain't just, you know, going on JSP trying to snipe deals. This dude's a businessman, all right? How do you think he's affording this? He doesn't want to give up the secrets for free. You think he wants everybody copping his style like that? Oh, he's busting out the bow. I love it. See, the bow is very important. I actually left this comment on the cutting room floor about the Brawler Barb in this video. And now I wish I didn't. Because when you bust out a bow, no matter what character you're on, it forces your opponent to play differently. And especially if you're playing on an aggressive character, right? One that's typically known for their aggression. It makes the opponent play differently. Now, capitalizing on it is a challenge in and of itself, right? Very beautiful name lock there from Tor, and he was able to finish. But busting out that bow, just having that guided arrow, you notice that Tor came in, right? It forced him to close that distance. He doesn't want to get hit with the crazy shit Montreana has on his build, whether it's the fire damage or whether he's got open wounds, whether he's got poison. You never know what Montreana's going to bust out with that bow and hit you at range with. You know what I mean? It looks like he does have an open wound setup. He's got an rune in that bow. So if the Necro just sits on the outside, if Montreana's got a good angle on him, he can just cut him open, which goes right through that bone armor. So just that alone will often change how your opponent's playing. It'll force them to kind of close the distance a little bit, which is exactly what the Barb wants. Like, so just busting out that Widowmaker, it's a game changer. Quite literally a game changer.
DFC always makes me I wish I still played PC instead of Xbox, so I could be a part of a coolie DFC stream.
Demonology, man. Big cheers to you. Thank you so much for that dono, brother. I appreciate that. We'll put that right in the chug mug. Big cheers to you, brother. Yeah. Man. Here's the real thing. I just wish they would do crossplay with D2R. Like, why not? Like, it'd probably be easy enough, right? It's all through the BattleNet server. Like, I think that's the real thing. That's really what I want to see. It would make it so much easier to do that. It's so hard. It would be so hard to isolate, like, on console, on specific consoles as well. Like, yeah. But bro, I hear you. Big cheers to you, brother. That's what they need to do. Some big hits there from Montreana. Hard to tell exactly what he got in for damage there, but we heard those hits connect. We heard him connect. But he did eat some big damage on his way on the inside there, and now he's got to run from all of those bone spirits. Like, he's got to stay mobile. Problem with running around like this, though, is that you're almost asking to get smacked with some IBS at range like that, because you never know where they're coming from. He gets in there with a nice whirl, was looking for that Zerk, but didn't quite get it. Wasn't quite quick enough to grab it. But yeah, like, if you're walking around and not teleporting on the Barb, you're potentially opening yourself up to just walking into an IBS, right? Covering more distance with your movements. Like, it's very possible. We've seen that happen a lot. But also, managing the mana is something that Montreana is doing with this build. His mana is 383, and can attest on a Barb, that can get a bit annoying when you're teleporting around, especially, yeah, like, even though you have the mana pots that you're able to use, man, you can just piss through that mana so quick. GG's. Good duels, man. Very impressive Barb always from Montreana. Very nice playstyle there from Tor. Let's put that down for fight of the night in consideration. We always make a list of all the fights that we see, and at the end we go through.
I can't carry anymore.
We try to narrow it down to 4 because that's what the poll allows on YouTube, and I believe on Twitch as well.
I am overburdened.
But we got to keep a mental note so we can go back. All right, I also believe Gogators about ready to start. Let's cut over to this guy. By the way, keeping the action going tonight, man. It is going, flowing. There ain't been a break in this shit. This is crazy. These guys getting fired up, ready to go here. This is going to be GVN on a sin versus our boy, Gogators. Already racking up 1 win on the Barb here tonight. Is he going to be able to do it again? That's the big question. Let's get ready to check this out. 2 legendary players going up against each other. And who's going to take it? Who's your money on? Can Gogators do it again? Let's find out. And in this corner, we've got Gogators, the Barb that we have seen take down one Sin here tonight. But the true question is, can he do it again? We got the pleasure of seeing GVN Sin going up against my Brawler Barb last week. I had no idea that this guy was so decked out. This guy has anything but a budget trap Sin. This guy's gonna be putting out damage to the max. This guy skimped out, spared no cost on making this assassin build right here, and he certainly has the skills to back it up. So we're gonna see if he can pull it off here again. See if he can get a little bit of Barb redemption from last week, playing up against, you know, who brings a brawler to the DFC? Who does that shit, right? Who even, what's going on? He's probably like, give me a real Barb, right? And now he's got it. Going up against Gogators. Already got one Sin win under his belt tonight. We're going to find out. We're gearing up. The duel about to start. Looks like GVN was just getting some coffee. He's going to need some coffee to get himself fired up for this duel. I don't blame him. That's what champions do. And no, it's sorry, I'm just seeing your comment, Samedi. No, it's not limited. The reason he's using it, it's only limited versus characters that can't teleport, right? So if the character can't teleport, you can't bone prison them. But if the character can teleport, go nuts. The only time you would technically get a lates call is if you're just bone prisoning all over the screen or sitting in like a constant bone walls all over the screen. That could potentially result in a lates call. Like if you're just teleporting away just to set up bone walls and bone prison, or, you know, bone walls mainly. But yeah, the reason they cast bone prison is because much like the Shadow Bay blocking a hit for the Sin, the bone prison can block a hit for the Necro, right? If you, in a clutch moment, bone prison as your opponent is on top of you, that bone prison can actually block a hit. And here it is, Gogators showing off some nasty skill on this Barb, dude. Able to catch GVN early on and do some significant damage. And now GVN's on his bike. He's going to make Gogators chase him. He's not going to give him the opportunity to get these nasty locks. And as we saw last week, GVN's very good at that. But there it is, a sneaky lock. And that's the power of that Mind Blast. Right there, you saw Gogators going in for a lock versus GVN, but a very clutch Mind Blast lock from his opponent. And that just knocked him out of his teleport animation. Really set him up good. Just was able to break Gogators' rhythm. GVN also live. Let's take a look at the Sin perspective here. GVN very low, but you notice he's doing a great job of keeping his Shadow Master up. And right there, he could have got cleaned out by that Whirlwind. Shadow Master, Shadow Bay, just taking it, no problem. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough for that last world right there. Some very nice aggression from Gogators. He got up there very quickly, closed the distance, got a nasty Whirlwind, was able to finish it. GVN probably likely going to be a little more wary of the style, the aggression, the skill of Gogators here in this next round. But you can also notice something very interesting in GVN's screen here. This is a ping that this guy is used to playing at. It's like bouncing back and forth between 125, 140 and above, right? I wouldn't be surprised if these guys either swapped to a central game or whatnot halfway through the duel. Thing is, as we could tell from last week, it's not entirely horrible in this matchup for the Sin. It is certainly horrible having shitty ping for the Barb. So curious to see how this will go. Mad respect for it either way, whether they switch games or not. But it's often something when you're playing from Kauai. That's a long ways off now, Shea. That's a long ways off. Quite a bit out there, more in the ocean than you think. Shadow Bay doing work. Blocked a lot of shots from Gogators there right in the beginning. and GVN was able to punish him with some trap damage there. But again, even oh my god, I was gonna say, you see GVN looking for these name locks with Mind Blast, because it is very powerful. But Gogators with the answer to it, like, he's just right on top of it. He's not giving GVN too much time to look for that name lock, right? To sort of lock him up in that Mind Blast. And when he does, it seems as though Gogators is also very weary, very aware of the FHR frames and using those to his advantage. He knows that when he's in that Mind Blast lock, that he can't get stunned at some points, right? So he's ready. Instead of whirlwinding away, very aggressive game plan, he'll just use that time to teleport even closer. Let his opponent commit to that Mind Blast lock, and if they stay in it, they're going to catch a whirl. Right there, that was just a bad placement of that teleport from GVN. He ended up just teleporting right into a whirlwind there. Tried to get a little too close, up close and personal with the barb. Big cheers, Jason. Also in Kauai. And that's awesome. Thanks for tuning in all the way from out in the ocean. Yeah, look at this. You might be catching some of the gear here from of GVN's as he's swapping out, doing this pre-buffing. Pretty insane. His gear is nasty. Spot back over to Gogators' stream here. See how he's looking. He's got a sneaky name lock. Got in close, but wasn't able to punish for it. And ended up eating a lot of Lightning Sentries damage for his troubles. GVN gonna have to keep up that Shadow Master, but Gogators not giving him much time to not only to recast the Shadow Master, but never giving him as much time as he needs to set up the Mind Blast lock. Gogators extremely aggressive on this barb. Absolutely incredible showing here so far versus GVN. I can't stress enough how in favor I think this is of the Sin. It's certainly what we've seen in recent history with Sin v Barb. It's very tough for the Barb. So for Gogators to get in here like this and present this sort of aggression and to be so successful already versus a Sin tonight, but also versus a player like GVN in this round, this is impressive. GVN punishing him hard with these Lightning Sentries here. Gogators now at about 33% life, a little over. Yeah, and his lock skills are just phenomenal. I told you, man, Barb is really Gogators' style. Like, he's extremely aggressive. He's always been a very aggressive player. Whatever FPK character he's on, he's extremely aggressive with it. He might have just connected there as well, which that will certainly one his opponent, put him right to 1 life. But again, it's up to Gogators to catch him. If he never gets another good clean hit, he might not get there. There it is. Yeah, it definitely did one him. He's on his rep to full plan here. He probably won't get there, but he's repping some life back now from 1 was GVN. Ooh, a little close for comfort there, but he gets out unscathed. GVN trying to punish Gogators here, punish his aggression, catch him in these traps, keep the Shadow Bay up for that added protection. GVN's got some very good angles on his traps too. Oh my god, and a perfect placement of that whirlwind right in between where GVN had his traps. There was a small window, a small placement that Gogators could have fit right in between those traps, and he just nailed it. Perfect timing, perfect placement, perfect whirlwind. No, Grim Ward doesn't work in PvP. Yeah, look at these nasty 6-point rings he's just swapping out to get that extra plus to skills for battle orders and all of this stuff from his SOJs. This Sin, very well built. And very well played here, man. You see it. GVN knows that Mind Blast lock is going to be key in this duel. And he's also not getting too greedy with it. He's holding the Mind Blast lock, getting a little bit of damage in there, trying to knock him out of that teleport stun. But he's not holding it down for too long. He recognizes what Gogators is going to do. He's going to use those immunity, those FHR immunity frames to get on the inside. Incredible damage here so far from Gogators. GVN wisely setting up traps, setting himself up good before he advances across the map. Usually on non-ladder Terrapista, mainly just because PvP items are so expensive and rare, and it oftentimes takes people a while, many seasons, to gear up a good PvP character. That's why you just see a lot of duels happen in non-ladder. It's rare to see them in ladder. I'm sure they happen, but they don't happen to the level that they do in non-ladder. GG, and another win versus the Sin here from Gogators. This guy was warmed up versus a Sin opponent here tonight. He pulls it off again against GVN. Savage player, savage opponent, savage build. Well played. You gotta wonder at some point how much that ping comes into play, because GVN plays so well on the Sin. Always looking for that name lock with Mind Blast. He knows when to get greedy, when to not get greedy. But you gotta wonder. There's been a couple of times he's just been caught, right? And if he would have been 75 ping faster, how different would it have been? That's the challenge, man. That's the challenge. Very well played from both of these guys right here. That was nuts. Nicely done. Let's put this down as consideration for fight of the night. That was very good. GVN versus Gogators. Damn. All right. You know what we got? I wouldn't be surprised. Did we have a D-clone pop during that? Hold on. Man, what's going on? I saw some messages pop up. Terror approaches Sanctuary. No, we didn't have a D-clone pop. All right, let's get back into this game with... Let's get back in here. With Punch. What's going on? I see him in Act 5 Hell. Do we have a good terror zone right now? Nah. Outer Steps, Plains of Despair. Jail Barracks is next. Oh, he's just doing a little, he's doing Ancients for somebody here. Dio should be ready soon. GG. See if we get this guy warmed up a little bit. Oh, game is full. I was going to give him practice against, you know, clearly the best druid. I mean, like, there's few of them out there of my skill level. Why do you think I don't play on druid much? I don't want people to quit DFC. I don't want people to quit. You know, look at this guy. Dio's in your game, Misfit? Like my only non-ladder char trying to get Ancients. Oh, word. Yo, let me know next time, Misfit. I gotta... Were you on a Zon there? Is that what character I saw? Dude, let me know next time, dude. I got a classic sorceress, dude. And I could see rush you next time, dude. I have an Eld rune. We just spec'd to DFC setup. And Eld rune just helps me hit that 50% block versus Barb. But it's also less of a dexterity commitment, too, for points. I'm not even sure if max block is the way to go versus a Barb. I'm tempted to just go max cast and just try to be faster. But yeah, it's not bad. But I have a couple of setups. I had this for a max block setup. I still might socket this with something. It's been so long since I played Druid. I also have this one too, which isn't bad. Like this is pretty sick. This one also isn't bad. Life, mana, fire res. I think the jewel is life, fire res, if I'm being real. I think it's 17 life, 29 fire res. A little bit of a PVM circ, all right. But different swaps. We also have double bared COA. We've got some swaps. I also gambled on this during the 22 Nights of Terror. I didn't notice that I already had one, but I did double socket it. Like, I took it to Larza. He gave me 2, which is better than the one that I didn't even know I had one of these set up on this guy. Apparently, I really fucking hate Sins because all of my characters just come in stock, like, geared up with this shit. You go Vita always, yeah. I probably should. But is what it is. Toshank gave me this amulet, dude. Still holding it near and dear to my heart. You need at least 19 on the Drew. I think actually 18. But 19 isn't bad in case you go the 99 cast setup. Not pretty good though. I mean, we're like kind of set up on this Druid. Like, thanks to Solus. The inventory, dude. Matching. Don't pay attention to the Druid Torch. It's the best one I have. All right. But yeah, I think these guys. They say Dio's almost ready. All right, hold up. Come to got you, bud. Just sent you a message. All right. Me and Punch about to get some practice in. About to get him ready for what a real druid looks like. Right, I hate to do him like this because, man, my level of skill on a druid, I don't think he's ready for. You know, it's going to be tough for him, but at least he'll be ready for Dio. You know, Dio will look like a chump. If I lose, maybe I should no-show tonight. Nah, bro. I'm like way better than Dio. Yeah, it's like Megan Dio, he's gonna look bad. This, if you can beat me, Dio should be easy. Yeah, no, Dio is nasty, dude. He's so good. This'll just be a little warm up. All right, go Punch. A little bit of a warm up. Get me back on Druid. Nice whirl down. Okay, so he is on Brawler. Oh my god, Zerk too? Jesus fuck, dude. Oh, we almost had him. I'm just getting warmed up. I almost had him. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty on the Druid. You know, just need a little bit of warm up, you know? That was all I needed. Just a tad bit of a warm up. No problem. He had some nice down whirls there, especially if he's going to go with that brawler setup. I'm going to be so impressed to see that, dude. That was really cool. The thing is, I've dueled druids on that brawler, and I know what I didn't like. I know what I didn't like seeing. And I tried to do that to him there. I'm not sure if Dio knows yet. Go, bro. All right, round 2. Oh, shit, dude. All right. All right. What was my ping there? 63. Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, I felt a little bit of lag there. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. Just when you've got the skill on a druid like I do, you can feel it, right? Yeah, lag for sure. Yep. Need more up NATO. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially with all... I hate to win like that, but... You know, with all the lag... We're probably gonna have to do that a little more. Told you boys, I only have 50% block. I'm just getting warmed up. Just getting warmed up. That's all right. Let him use it. I like that he uses strafe. I have 50% block. You could go higher versus his on a druid on the druid, but he gets stuck in that animation, which lets me NATO him. I think it's a fair trade. All right, let's do it. Told you I was just getting warmed up, boys. Dio better watch out, man. If I keep playing on the druid, that fucking title might be mine. All right, let's do it. Would have been a draw. Would have been a draw. Dio versus Cooley. Dude, the problem is you never want to see Wind Druid versus Wind Druid. Especially, like, competitively. It's such a late duel. It's so late. Like, both players just, like, increase in the distance that rarely does anybody ever stomp. Especially at, like, the highest tier of play. What do I got here? We got this. Go. That's max Dio is allowed. Speak of the devil. Oh, we were just saying so much good things about Dio that we were just saying so much good things about this guy. We were just saying unbeatable druid. We were just saying a lot of good things about him. Weren't at all talking shit. Nope, I don't think anybody does about Dio. They don't dare. Hey, thanks, Dong. Big cheers to that, man. Hey, yo, me and Butter almost ready, pulling more. GG. All right, this will be interesting, dude. This will be interesting. Punch on Brawler. Now, he has, I believe, either some nasty axes or he has nasty throw weapons like the rare kind. Here's the problem, in my experience, okay? If he's going full Brawler with this, in my experience, Brawler is good versus a Wind Druid, I think, especially if you have the skills of Punch. But I would be very curious to see how much of those throws, if he goes with Brawler, get blocked by the Wolves. Granted, he will leech some life off of them, which is good. But, in my experience, dude, that Pierce was godly versus the Druid. Like, their pets just didn't matter. It's like suddenly, like, if they're on your screen and you're chucking at them, damage shall be done. Like, they're either going to go into block animation and stand still, and then you can whirl down, like you can telestomp, whirl down, or you could get them into this pattern where they start stomping you, which is like exactly what you want, right? All right, I think these guys about ready to go. Before we cut over to Dio here, I think we got Butter versus Nate. Should be good. Let's check this out. Let's check this out. Little pre-fight warm-up here. Man, oh man. Butter making a name for himself here in the DFC on the barb build. This guy on the traditional barb, he's got the bow sticks on the swap. I love it. Whole cube bow setup, just beautiful. That's when you know a barb is ready. He also has a, what is that helm? Is that has to be a, yeah. I was gonna say 220 with something in it, probably a 4015. This matchup, Butter versus Nate Diesel, is gonna be Barb versus Din. Tough matchup for the Barb, but the Din not allowed life tap in this matchup. That is one of the most demoralizing things. It's technically allowed on both of these characters in most matchups, except it's banned on the Din in this particular matchup. Whether you got a Hammer Din, which is just that's a tough one for a Barb anyway, or if you've got a Smiter, which can be a fun duel, but the life tap makes it a little weird. All right, yeah, so he's on He's on hammers. No, these guys aren't hostile. Welcome to the DFC. We finally got it. I was wondering when it was going to happen. We got it, boys. There it is. The non-host start. Cube in the middle. Absolute madman. Nice whirl down there. That's certainly the angle that you want. It is very tough for a hammered in there. Oh my God. Best believe, a.k.a. Nate Diesel. This guy is a savage. He's got that three-piece going on. He's got that FOH lock. He's on a mage here, it looks like. Hard to tell exactly what his FOH damage is, if it's anything significant. But he is looking for that smite lock, like that stomp. Very, very interesting thing to do. Oh, man, whirling right into a hammer field there, though. But Butter survives. Butter. Telling you, this guy hanging on by the skin of his teeth right here. But all it's going to take, I was going to say, all it's going to take is a good whirl, and he could get there. But that FOH, I can't tell if that was FOH or if that was a hammer there. But Nate Diesel gets the job done. This guy's savage on the din. Yo, how's the game volume for that? Is that good? I had to adjust these levels last week when like the stream was causing an echo and stuff, so it might be low. But feel free. Let me know if it's low, high. I like to hear the audio in these duels. Call me a madman if you will, but I think it really makes it. Sounds great. All right, GG. Nice whirl down there. You are going to take a little bit of damage oftentimes getting in with those whirls. What Butter is going to try to avoid is what happened early on in the last round. He's going to try to avoid getting caught in those nasty hammer fields. Oh, man, and he just catches one there from Tellian away. That's where that Oak Sage could have protected him, but I think he was just trying to increase the distance there. Beautiful stomp from Nate Diesel. He didn't quite... I'm not sure if he had the smite lock there, too. Like, if he had the smite swirls. But he certainly just grabbed the name lock with FOH and tellied in, which is kind of dangerous, especially if you don't have the swirls, right? Like, if you don't have those swirls going on, the barb actually has a lot of leeway to either walk down, unless your FOH is doing significant damage. And we have yet to see a real clean FOH from Nate Diesel. But even if he maxed out his FOH, right? And hammers are secondary, which I certainly don't think they are based on that hammer damage that we're seeing. But let's say he put a significant amount of points into some FOH synergies here. On this build, I don't think the FOH damage can get too high. The real question is, how low is his opponent's lightning resist? Now he has those swirls in there. He might be looking for that FOH combo now. But the answer to that is if Butter just whirls down. Whirling down is certainly the way to go for that. You know your opponent's coming in with a stomp. He eats a couple of hammers there in that field. I gotta say, though, I love how aggressive Nate is being in this. Like, a lot of times what you'll see from Hammerdins in this matchup, especially, they get a little scared, right? They get a little scared. They'll sit in that hammer field. They won't really get aggressive. They won't really show off that skill like what Nate is showing off here. That three-piece combo skill that he's got. But now Butter's making him pay for it, dude. Making him pay for it. He's in a lot of trouble. Both of these guys are actually very low life totals from both players. Shameless stomp from Butter. Just name lock, whirl down, dude. Shameless. Those hammers just... they literally moved what little hair is left on this Barb's chest. And he gets caught in that hammer field, though. Damn, hard to avoid those things, man. It seems like those are just perfectly placed here tonight from Nate Diesel. Very nice setup. Like I said, absolutely love how... I love the risks that Nate Diesel is taking in this. Especially seeing the damage that's coming from Butter's Whirlwind. Like, that is some damage. And you can tell from Nate's setup, he's prepared. Like, he has COA. He's got the DR setup on. And those whirls still doing some significant damage. Yeah, that pally is good. I'm telling you, that's what makes the difference, man. When you see Pally start going for that 3-piece combo, that's where they smite, they get those swirlies above their opponent's head, then they line up that FOH, and then they telly stomp. That's when you know you've got yourself a din you've got to worry about. It's certainly risky doing it on a barb, like doing it versus a barb, but I gotta say, I love the fact that Nate's doing it. I actually, for whatever reason, I think when I set this up, I thought he was on a VT. The fact that he's on a hammered in, I gotta say, I love the fact that he's doing these combos. I think it gives his opponent a shot. But really, I think the only reason, like, what Butter is saying here is true. Like, I think the only reason he's lost some of these rounds is just bad tellies into these, like, hammer fields. I seriously think, like, right here, like, that's just another one. He's just... Nate's setting him up real good. That was a great telly whirl there. But that's really what's been catching him, is that he has just been unfortunate enough to teleport right into just the wrong place in 2 of these rounds. Curious to see what these look like if he doesn't get caught. If he doesn't get caught like that. He got caught there. That was actually very nice placement from Nate Diesel. Nate walking up, shamelessly trying to get those smites in there. Man, I think he has grief too. I think Nate might have grief. Because I think he actually just finished him with smite there. That was some significant damage. GG. Very tough matchup. Apologies to Butter. Very tough matchup there, but actually very well played. Like he said in game, I think some of those rounds would have actually gone significantly different, and you would have seen the skill and the power that this guy possesses if he just wouldn't have got caught in those couple of random hammer fields. Like, just bad placement, bad tellies there. But other than those mistakes in those rounds, he was playing well. Very well. Perfect angles on the whirlwinds. Realized when to try to punish Nate for his, like, over-aggression on the FOH stomps. He was ready for it. He's no stranger to it. He says he was going to go Widow, but didn't respec. Would have loved to see that. I think that's honestly the answer to a din. I think that's the answer to an H-din, is that busting out that Widow. Again, man, makes him play differently. Certainly adds some weird shit into the mix versus an H-din. Certainly makes my H-din play differently. All right, looks like these guys are about ready to go. Not sure how you guys are feeling, but I'm pretty fucking pumped. We're about to see the title match of the night. Dio, DFC Unlimited current champ versus the Season 2 DFC champ coming back trying to take this title. Who's your money on? Who do you think is going to get this one? This is a tough one to call. Let's check it out. In this corner, or rather, this corner, coming up soon. DJ, cut it. We switched to the wrong scene. Just cut it over. Let them know who we're looking at. All right, we're looking at the DFC champ, Dio, sitting there, just waiting. Just waiting for his opportunity, his moment to shine, to defend that title. But can he do it? That's the question. We saw Punch. He's got a very interesting build. If Punch can do it, if Punch pulls this off on this setup, he will be the first ever Brawler Barb to earn a DFC title, which would be very... That's nuts. That's big. That's big news. I personally would be thrilled. But we're going to see how it goes. Let's check out Punch's screen. We'll see what this guy's doing. He's probably doing push-ups. Don't be surprised if we see that on his barb. Just doing push-ups, just setting himself up good. A little bit of pixelation on this side. I think he might actually play like this to save himself some frames. This is a +3 war cries. Yeah, don't worry. This is on Punch's end, not yours. Don't adjust your television sets. Yeah, a little bit of pixelation. I'm wondering if it's a Discord thing or if Punch is just like, yeah, you know what? I want to play with some massive, mad pixelation here. All right, no, now it's good. Now it's looking good. Yeah, it was definitely something he was doing. Looks good now. Yeah, well played, Nate. Well played, Butter. That was actually, man, that was a good, quick duel. Well played on behalf of both players. I said it last week. I'll say it again. We can't underestimate Nate Diesel. This guy knows what to do. This guy working his way up quick, showing what he's capable of. Man, he makes these duels, these rounds look so quick, but I'm telling you, I see something in Butter over there. That guy knows what he's doing. That guy played very well on that Barb. It's a tough matchup for a Barb for sure. It looks like he had a plan to bust out the Widowmaker. I do like that plan versus a Hammered In. I think it's the way to go. But he was playing well. The angles he was cutting, like those down left angles, just perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. He's no stranger to that matchup. Just so happened, though, Nate's also no stranger to the matchup. He had some hammers waiting for him right there. Yeah, very nicely done. Big cheers to you, brother. Nice job. Good question. I'm not sure if you need it in the main hand or if it averages them out. I heard, so when, who was it that told me that? I never tried it the other way around, honestly. But they told me you needed Spear in main hand to increase range of Lacerator. But Punch might know something I don't know. All right, here we go. I'm going to jack up the volume of Punch's stream a little bit here. All right, looks like he also has got a little bit of music going here. In-game music, the best kind. All right, he's going pure aggro here. I like these up throws. Setting himself up well. That's actually a very smart move to do with the Brawler. A little bit of up throw if you can catch him, if you can predict him. It's a very good way to go about it. Curious to see what Dio has for a setup too. If he ended up going with the max block or if he's just going with max cast. Let me see if we can cut over to Dio's standpoint here real quick and check. Might be able to catch an SS on him or nah, it looks like he went Spirit, dude. This guy went full Spirit. A little bit of echo going on in Dio's stream there. I'm gonna kill the audio on that. But yeah, he went max cast. He's not even fucking with that max block, dude. This is huge. This is gonna give Punch the window that he might need. But will Dio make a mistake like that? That's the real question. Dio doesn't make many of them. Punch hasn't connected on many of the throws yet. But I will say I did hear that even back in the day, Punch was looking at making a Brawler Barb for PvP and kind of perfecting it. And I think he'd messed around with some stuff. It looks like he's brought it back for this, and I gotta say I love it. This build is nasty. He's being very patient. This is Punch's style. He was like this even back in Season 2. This is his style. He is aggressive, as we can see before, right? He has the capability of doing some nasty locks, but he's also very patient. He's the type of player that will wait for his opportunity. The way he plays sometimes, oh my god, big hits from Dio. He didn't suffer any damage there. Not even a max block setup. Or he might actually have, it's hard to tell. He might actually have, I just saw the Shadow Dancers there. He might have 50% block with Spirit, which is, I would be blown away to see that. Or not max block, but 50% block, which is the max you can have versus a Barb on a Druid. That would be insane. Which might also be why we conveniently can't see the life total of Dio. Conveniently. Yeah, he's got 47 block, and I believe he's got Spirit. There's no shot he doesn't have Spirit. He might have a J-Mod. There's a small chance he has a J-Mod. But why the hell would he have a J-Mod? Right? Like, no shot you have that. What are you going to jam in it? Bear runes? Like, you're just better off using an SS. I think he did it with Spirit. I think he just has this nasty deck setup where he can use Spirit and have 47 block, which is fucking insane. Like, that might mean that he can keep max cast and theoretical max block, which is, that's a next level setup. Didn't expect that. Big punishment for those stomps from Dio. He's just seeing it. He's feeling it. He's knowing when Punch is going to come in. He's lighting this map on fire, turning it into Tornado Alley. There's not a safe place for Punch to go. And Punch unable to capitalize on a lot of this here so far. Let's cut over to his standpoint. Looks like he's at about half life. But he does have, I believe, close to, or maybe slightly over 35% life leech on the barb. I think when he showed me the setup, he said 36, and then I reminded him that 35 was the cap. But if I'm being real, and he comes in with 36, referee Bill will probably allow it. Just saying. Just figured we'd let him know that 35 is the limit. And whatever he does with that information is up to him. And there it is. Dio takes round 2 there. Dio off to a savage title defense here so far. Sidestep power. Yeah, this is nuts. Now, here's the thing. We have seen Dio lose to Barbarians before. There was one Barb, Demented, that I remember Dio feeling some type of way about because he lost to him twice. Couldn't beat Demented. He was like, just something about him. Just something about... I remember the first time he lost to him, he said, something about that duel just doesn't feel right, man. I want another shot. He got his other shot, and Demented did even better. So, I tell you that story to let you know, we have seen Dio lose to Barbs before. It's possible. And now, we see Punch figuring out his style. Punch is also one of those players that adapts. Right? He's one of those OG players. The style that is so next level. Right? It's the one that you see on the champions. We saw it early on. We saw it with Joby. Joby also this way, right? He can adapt to his opponent. You see this in the top tier players. They'll feel out their opponents for a couple of rounds and be like, okay, that's how they play. That's what they do. And they're concocting these plans in their head to be like, all right, well, when I see that, when he does this, this is going to be my answer to it. I'm going to throw him off a little bit. Curious to see if we're going to see that with Punch here in this next round or in these following rounds. Right now, currently, it's 2-0 in favor of Dio. The current title champion, title belt holder, on his way to defending it. But this duel ain't over. And if you know anything about Punch, it ain't even close. This ain't even close to being over. Not the type of player to get discouraged just because he's down a couple of rounds. Dancing in those NATOs like they don't even exist. Trying to get these sneaky name locks, but Dio knows his game plan. Dio knows what he's up to. He knows the sheer power of Punch, and he's giving them the respect that he deserves. Tough, very tough for Punch to catch Dio here. Man, oh man. This is going to be a tough game plan for Punch to crack. Dio is just kind of trying to bait him in here. He's trying to bait him in. And he's not giving him many windows to get those name locks. Uphill battle here for Punch. Man, I gotta say, the fact that he brought the throw into this, the fact that he brought the brawler to the brawl, I'm gonna say I'm not giving up hope. I'm still rooting for this guy. Yo, what's up, Thomas? Big cheers, brother. How you doing, my dude? We're into the title match right here. We are heavy in to the title match. It's now 3-0 in favor of Dio, making light work so far of Punch. Punch going to the stash, making some considerations. Let's cut over to Dio. See what this guy's doing. See what he's up to. He's probably sitting there with his spirit shield and his max cast and his 47 block, feeling good. I gotta say, that's actually quite a setup. I wouldn't be surprised if he did this with very little, if not like any investment into dexterity, because 47 is a very odd number. If you're going to commit to the 50% block versus a barb, you probably would just do it, right? Like, you'd probably just go to 50%. But 47 is one of those numbers that tells me he wasn't really trying to get there, right? It just so happened to be there. But I don't know. He does have a big point investment in dexterity. He might also be wearing spirit. I'm pretty sure he is. But he did. It looks like, I guess he did have quite an investment in dex. He might have just specced up just for this duel. Very interesting. So his life total probably a little lower than usual. Wouldn't be surprised if he's in like the 6K range, 5 to 6K range. With that much dexterity, maybe even less. And there it is, a 4-0 victory for the first title defense. And still, the DFC champion is Dio. This guy, a whole different breed. A whole different monster. This guy could be up at the top for a very long time. Muchez about to start. Oh my god, back to back. By the way, hold on. Let me check in and see if we can see Punch's stream real quick. I'm actually very curious. Oh, he just logged off. I'm very curious. Punch, fire it back up. I gotta see what you were using for this. We gotta see those jabs. Because I have some ideas in mind for the Brawler Barb. First of all, I'm so blown away that he like brought it to the table. But curious to see what he was using for that. Because this guy is a barb master, like a barb mastermind. Yeah, let's pop into this. I'm actually gonna unmute myself in the Discord here real quick too. Punch, what's up, dude? Bro, show us this barb, man. Like, what the hell were you using?
Oh, dude, you're gonna laugh.
Lacerator, and what else? Just that? Was it a fucking Warcry stick? What was the other one? It was a Warcry stick.
Yeah, I was trying to go for tap, but Dio was too fast.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
I love you, Helen.
GG. Yeah, Dio was so fast. The strategy there was, I was like, I see what he's doing. Did you see his setup too? That when we showed it off on stream there, he had Dio. You had 47 block with spirit.
Yeah, but on bow, I think I have like 50 on the nose. When he told me he was going that route, I shoved on S dancers, and I have a ring that gives me 15 to dex, so it popped me up. Plus, I used Heart of the Oak, which gave me another 10 dex.
God damn.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I was like, I did not expect this. I was actually practicing with Punch before you guys' duel, and I put together a 50% block barb with like max DR and shit. I was like, Dio might go this route, or he might go like max cast.
I'd rather just go max cast in this MU, to be honest. Like, I find it's a better matchup if both players just like, if I go full Vita, he can go like max DR, 20 life leech. It's a matchup that's a little bit more fun.
Yeah, we were just checking out Punch's barb here. He had he's going with the throw, dude. I was very impressed to see it. He's got the lacerator on one side, with a Warcry stick, so it wasn't really like full brawler. It was more for like the amp, just in case you get that amp. Like, I think that was really what it was for. A little bit of cannot be frozen in DR up in the 20 cast, 3 open socket helm. Very interesting setup for this. Also tap and amp. A good chance that either one of those goes off. That's kind of crazy. Love string of ears for that setup too. Yeah, this was an interesting setup. I thought for sure you went full brawler barb for that punch. I was like, he's gonna mix it up.
No, I just thought it'd be fun to pull up with the tap.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I was rooting for you, bro. I was rooting for you. I was like, man, just throw a lacerator, proc that amp, and win, dude. We'll call it a brawler win. Technical brawler. Dude, GG's, boys. Good duel. Holy hell.
GG's, man.
DO the champ. Congrats, my dude.
Thanks, bro.
All right, let's cut over. We've got Max versus Mooches. Max. With a little bit of echo there. We'll cut that back. Looks like he's listening to the stream. Gonna be a little echoey if we have the volume on there. Wow, I can't believe that. I thought, okay, so when he showed me that screenshot, he showed me the axe. I thought he was gonna brawl. I thought he was gonna big brawl with that. Which, in my opinion, all right, I think that has what it takes. You know that strategy that Dio got into there, right? Where, like, it's kind of unbeatable for that, right? Like, you get Dio's just bouncing back and forth, setting just up NATOing. Like, it's kind of hard to beat it. But if you have the throw, you can deal some damage, dude. You can cut through those pets, amp. The only drawback is the world doesn't do as much. But there's probably ways to adjust it. All right, this right here, whole new matchup. We have Max on the Sin versus Mooches on the Zon. Mooches has lost to Zons before. However, if there ever was a Sin player that can get creative enough and put Mooches on the back pedal, it might just be Max. But right now, Mooches is looking great. Mooches practically full life here, and Max unable to deal a lot of damage to him. I believe he might be on an elephant build. He's got Plague, which is interesting. That's an interesting setup. Plague is going to make it so that if and when he gets connected on with those arrows, it's going to cast lower res, which will make his traps hit even more. Which certainly makes me think that he's taken the elephant Sin onto a Max block setup here versus Mooches. Okay, so Max says it's currently 1-1. So Max won the first round there. We missed that first round. Max won it. He's just losing that round. It's now tied up. I was going to say, if there was a creative Sin player that could do this, it might be Max. The key thing here, I think, with Mooches is going to be two things. First of all, breaking through that light res, and then, of course, being able to avoid the savage aim that Mooches has. It's not just the spray from multi-shot. Mooches is one of those players, and you saw it in that last round. If you choose to stay close with him, he'll engage. He actually prefers it. Like, that's his style. But of course he's going to take his shots from the outside if he can. But he's not scared to stand in the pocket with you as well. Like, look at this. That savage aim. As soon as Max came in, dude had a lightning bolt right on top of him. Like, Mooches is good, man. He's got very, very good Zon skill. And look at this. Telly stomps in, not afraid to get up close, and actually made Max pay for it. But Max also has, this is very interesting, Max also has, looks like he might have switched to a Flesh Ripper. Max might have gone Flesh Ripper here. I think he did. Yeah, Max just kicked Mooches with a Flesh Ripper. But unfortunately, He's cut open from afar here too. Cut open, poisoned, a lot of damage on top of him. But now Muchez might feel a little bit of that pressure to close the distance and not necessarily let that open wounds do its thing. That one kick 50%'d him. Max getting in there. Now this is kind of tied up here. Very interesting hybrid sin here. Wondering if Max is going to go in for another kick there. But again, Muchez happy to stay in the pocket. Happy to trade with those jabs as well. Is he stabbing? No, there's no shot, dude. He has Dragon Talon on the left click. I'm pretty sure. There's no shot he's stabbing. Is he going to try to one him with poison? Bro, that would be the most epic kill ever in the DFC. If he poison daggers him with like venom and shit, that literally ones you so quick. That shit ones you, bro. But now Max is in a lot of trouble, and that poison charm that Muchez has got in his inventory, just doing some work, man. Got him there. Now it's 2-1 in favor of Muchez. Close duel, though. I gotta say, I think that Flesh Ripper actually paid some serious dividends there. I'm surprised we didn't see like a Dragonflight in, getting in on the inside a little bit more versus Muchez. Now, under the new rules of the DFC, you cannot impale an IAS-based character. And a Sin is an IAS-based character. So Max is in no threat of being impaled at close range. However, as we've seen, even that jab at close range is very devastating. It hurts, even through all of that DR and that block. Yeah, it looks like he is going with a Flesh Ripper again. Good. You'll love to see it. But can he get there is the question. It's certainly a creative build. If you're going to do it, versus Muchez, you got to get creative because this guy adapts. It looks like he lost that first round and he's already adapting to these next ones here. I'm not sure if he's made a significant change in his setup, but he's certainly made a change in his play style. Still not afraid to get up close and personal with Max, even with that Flesh Ripper out, even with the open wounds, even when Max had Plague on, which still has a decent amount of open wounds on it. Very good matchup here. This is cool. You'll love to see it. Is he busting out the Widow? Is that what I just saw? No shot. No shot. Max wisely approaching from the outside with traps, trying to corner Muchez. Trying to set him up in these odd positions where he's gotta come off the bow a little bit. Oh, and he throw lock, shoots him with a guided. Eats a multi-shot for his troubles, but I'd be very curious to see if that guided got in there and actually procced open wounds. It didn't. That or his life total is bugged. All right, big kicks. Now, Max, oh my God, Max is standing toe-to-toe with him, and Muchez is losing. Muchez lost that exchange. Holy shit, we've got a duel, boys. We have got ourselves an epic duel. And Max gets there for this round, tying it up, dude. I'm telling you, that might make Muchez question whether or not he wants to stay in the pocket and trade now. I wonder if we're going to see Muchez go into Teleboa mode. Because that was a very, very nasty exchange, which heavily favored Max there. Interesting build. Kick, trap, hybrid. That's so crazy. Just making some notes about fight of the night, performance of the night. Just taking this stuff in, taking it down. Very good duel so far. 2-2, I believe, right? Or is it, yeah, it looks like it's 2-2. I believe. Holy shit. Man, I knew it. I knew Max was going to get creative with this shit. I was like, theoretically, Muchez is just in that spot too where he's done so well that, like, he very easily could be up for a title shot. But I didn't want to do that to Dio on his first title defense. Like, going up against the Zon is just an auto win for the Zon. So it's kind of tough. We have seen Dio beat Zons before. We saw him beat GVN a couple of times. But he has gone against Muchez before, and it was a shit show. Muchez shut him down. Gogators for fight of the night and performance of the night. Yeah, dude, we got him on both lists. Yeah, he's really good. Very, very aggressive player. What the fuck? What is that belt? Max has a belt that only gives him 3 or 2 additional belt slots, or 8 additional belt slots. Okay, so it's a wow. PLR 2410. It looks like it was just crafted in a belt. Just has all of the right stats, but it was crafted in a belt. So he has just inherently less of a mana pool in his belt. You don't give a shit. Yeah, he says, wish it had 4 slots. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, what kind of chump fuckery is this? I was like, are you wearing like... I was like, is he wearing gold wrap or something for like IAS? Like, what's going on? Yeah, can't up crafteds, unfortunately. I wonder why the hell anybody would craft just a regular belt. Like, are you hoping for LLD? If you're crafting it at a high level, it's never going to be... Well, it could be LLD, but it's never going to be, like, VLLD. So you should just craft, like, a meshed belt. Or is that what it is? Yeah, meshed belt. That's, like, the level 25 requirement. I have no idea why somebody would craft just a regular belt like that. That's just weird. That's strange. Gator don't play no shit. Damn straight, dude. He don't. By the way, big cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. This makes my Thursday night every night, dude. Love it. Every Thursday, every week, DFC, the highlight of it. In search of Jewel. Yeah, where the hell is Jewel Van, man? Sloot versus Jewel. That should be a good duel, too. DFC is pre-weekend. Yeah, conveniently on Thirsty Thursdays, right? Convenient time in there. All right, these guys getting geared up. I think Muchez might have visited the stash, maybe made a couple of swaps there. Hard to tell. He might be in the tank a little bit. What I mean by that, he might be thinking about his next move. I think he was a little surprised that he couldn't, that trading with Max in that round didn't pan out in his favor. Now, that could just be RNG. That's also something, right? Both of these guys likely have max block. So it could have just been the roll of the dice. And it could be something that maybe Muchez shouldn't just overreact to. But Muchez knows that Zon like the back of his hand. He knows the Zon matchup like the back of his hand. So if he notices a problem, he's making a change about it. It's probably a big problem. We also notice with Muchez's style, he likes to have these setups and these play styles that put him in an advantageous spot, right? And if you can break him from that, if you can make him sweat a little bit, that's the key to kind of breaking down the defense. And I think that's what Max has done. And I think that was why Muchez has been in the tank a little bit. Let's see if Max can do it again. Now we have Muchez staying on the outside. Doesn't want to stay close. Is he on the spray and pray plan? No, he's not. He's getting in there with the jabs. Nah, he's not afraid. He might not be... I think he's just not overreacting to it at this point. Yeah, he's still happy to trade. He's remaining a bit more mobile And now we have Max firing those guideds at him. Might have caught him there with one. That's a very interesting play on Max's part. With the guided arrow, I think he actually hit him with it too. I think he hit him with it, and I think he might have procced open wounds. It's an interesting play because you notice what Max does. He gets Muchez when Muchez is on the retreat, right? When Muchez is retreating, that's when he gets him. Max happy to trade toe-to-toe here. Is it going to go in his favor this time? We shall see. These traps aren't doing much. Muchez is going to lose this. Muchez wisely steps down. And there it is. Max gets there in that round, now making it 3-2. Close one, though. Wow. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is it's a very interesting call from Max to use that bow. It's obviously risky busting out a bow versus a bow is on. You usually don't want to make that trade. But what Max is doing is he's waiting for Muchez to retreat a little bit, and he's catching him with that throw lock swap. And when he does that, he'll immediately start shooting guided arrow when he swaps. And if he switches back to his main weapon, the Flesh Ripper, his open wounds could proc from far off screen. Because it will use the open wounds, the crushing blow, all of that will take effect from the Flesh Ripper if he's on that side when the arrow hits. Interesting shots there. Very risky move there from Max. He takes it. It's hard to tell if he connected or if that's Mind Blast damage at this point. He might have connected. Yeah. Yeah, Muchez is bleeding. He connected with that guided arrow. That was sneaky, dude. Now Muchez hanging on. But Max with too much pressure. He's got the traps, the kicks. This is looking like it's going to be going in Max's favor. And there it is. Gets there with one of the most creative sins we've seen versus Muchez. Quickly showing off the gear. Would you expect any less from this guy? Holy shit. All right, so I didn't quite catch that trap tree. I'm wondering if he actually spec'd into traps or... Okay, yeah, he did. He actually maxed out his traps. The interesting thing was his traps weren't doing shit for damage, which is rather concerning. But his kicks were. Holy shit. Yeah, traps don't do shit, he says. Unless elephant. This is 7.5k traps on flesh. Okay, so that's why. 10k on plague, 7.5k traps on flesh. So he just went with the Flesh Ripper. He was like, look, bro, this is what we gonna do. He's like, this is what we gonna do. What an incredible match, man. Flesh Ripper with an rune for that added open wounds. 75% open wounds. Slows target by 20%, which is why he didn't use... Yep. Oh, it's 85. He has a ton of open wounds. It was why he didn't use Arachnid Mesh. It's capped... The slow is capped at 25%, I believe. Is that what it is? What did we cap it at? I believe 25.
Great card tonight, GGS. I appreciate the intensity you brought to D2R every week. Let's keep it rolling. Cheers, brother. Beer mugs.
Hell yeah. Nate Diesel, thanks so much for that 20 spot, man. You were too kind, brother. Big cheers to you. We'll go back to the spaceship after this for an official cheers. But brother, holy shit, that's awesome. Thank you so much. PvP is hype, man, especially when you see crazy shit like this coming in. Max with the solution here. Now Muchez going back to the drawing board. He could be two things going on right now. He could be going back to the drawing board, figuring out how to beat a sin like this, or he could be saying, I'll never duel a sin like that again. I'll never see nobody but Max runs a build like that. He could be saying fuck sins. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's one of those setups, man. Holy shit, I was very surprised, though. So this is still built like a trapper. Skill-wise, it's still built like a trapper. Max just chose to go with that heavy open wound setup. And it got him there. He actually cut him in that last round with an arrow, with a guided arrow. Did you have a lock on that? Hold up. I'm gonna unmute here for Max. Yo, Max, you there?
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, what's up, dude? That is a very creative sin you've set up there.
Hold on a second, I got a lot of feedback. 1 moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, yeah. Thank you. This is my old build. This is the original build that I developed sometime even as back as like 2005 or earlier. Same thing I've been running on East all the time, but now it's like, it's a little buffed. Tridents now works on Venom for guided arrow, it didn't used to. Griffins now works on traps, so, small buffs that help out this off-meta build, but it's fun. I get max block with it. Kind of sturdy. I had some investment into Dragon Talon, so this is a kicksin. And I had a little bit of investment to Mind Blast, but mostly it was split between Venom and Trap. I can go up to 10k traps, or if I go to full Shadow Discipline Grand Charms, I can go up to 2k Venom, which is pretty high, but I went like 1.5k Venom.
That's so nasty. Did you have a name lock in that last round? I was looking for it and I didn't see it, or was that just like a dry guided arrow that you shot from across the screen?
No, I did have a name lock, but it's kind of iffy because like it's at that distance where if you cast a spell, it breaks. So I don't know if that name lock guided actually locked on, because you remember that thing that we were testing one time where you locked on to the spirits, but they didn't actually cast?
Yeah.
So I'm unsure if that guided actually shot off, but I was like, fuck it, why not? I'll try. It's a fun trick I do in Zons, because Zons love to run away from traps, and as soon as they do, it lets me get a couple of free guided on them. Yeah. With like no risk at all.
Yeah, that was a beautiful strategy there. I loved it. I knew exactly why you were doing it. I was like, he's got a nasty open wound set up on the main. He's shooting and then immediately swapping back to his main side.
I swap weapons, then all of this applies on guided arrows, so the open wounds all applies. It's also really nice with Plague. I was running Plague the first match. You guys missed the first round, but the first round, he didn't have enough resist to cover the Plague lower res and the Plague minus res. So he put on a lot more resist after that, and then I saw in the second round, I was like, okay, Plague is not going to work anymore. He's put on enough resist to cover it, so I switched to the old tried and true classic Kicksin weapon, and it worked like a charm.
That's so sick, man. So you did get him that round one with the lower res and all of that. Yeah, we noticed the traps weren't doing shit in the later rounds, dude.
I also have this. Remember this weapon?
Oh yeah.
Used to get so many people pissed off, but it's fine. But I mean, this is good enough. You don't need 100%.
Yeah, that was beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, Kicksin's still working even after all the stun nerfs. They still work.
Yep. Wow. I knew if there was a Sin player that could find out some creative way to beat Muches again on a Sin, it would be you.
Intimidating, to say the least. Like on a Claw Trapper, I was actually talking to Jess before this. I was asking like, hey, how do you duel on a Claw Trapper against the Bozon that runs and shoots multi? And it's like, I don't know. I find it a very uphill battle. I know that I was very impressed with Verdi when he put on a max block setup and was able to fight from the outside. That was very cool to me. But I think that Zons are kind of a menace to trappers.
Yeah.
So like my traps weren't doing anything pretty much. And if I had double the trap damage, then sure, it'll do something, but the Zon can just walk out.
Yeah.
So I think this was the call.
I think it was, man. It clearly was. That that last round really showed it. Most of them were really, really close, but that last round, I think you clipped him with that guided from off the screen.
I think that we just got a little bit discouraged halfway through the duel. Like usually a Zon doesn't really try to stand his ground like that unless they know that they have a huge jab advantage, like a javelin advantage. Yeah, I think he just got discouraged. So he was like, fuck it, let's roll the dice.
Yeah. Yeah, he almost got there as well. I was actually pretty impressed with that. I was like, I can't believe he's standing toe-to-toe and it's this close. Like, but yeah, that was just the setup right there. That's the way to go. Very nicely done, Max. I can't say I expect any less from you, brother. That was a very unique build. That's for goddamn sure. Congrats on the win, brother. Looking forward to seeing this Sin perform some more, but just not against me. GG's, brother.
GG's.
Wow, dude. Absolutely insane. By the way, Nate Diesel, my dude. Big special spaceship cheers to you, brother. Thank you so much for that 20 spot. Really appreciate that, man. Keeps the spaceship going, keeps the juice flowing, and holy hell. What else we got for duels tonight? Let's check out the card. Let's see what we've got left. I don't see anybody else lined up here, but what an incredible night of fights we've seen so far. DJ, kill it. This is serious. This is the card. We've seen Helen versus Slapmonkey. We've seen Dio versus Punch. Montreana versus Tor. Gertie, clear dodge out of complete fear. I get it. Would have been an easy win. Would have been easy. Wouldn't even have been close. Polytheist versus East is interesting. Usually Polytheist doesn't get out until around now anyway. But then Riz versus Steez for some Sin v Sin. Now, that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting one right there. Two very... Well, Riz on a very consistent Sin with the Ghost with some big tricks up his sleeve. And Steezish also very creative on the Sin. Would love to see that. We saw Max versus Muchez. Insane. Gogators versus GVN. We saw Butter versus Nate Diesel. Gabe versus Javito. Gators versus Jonathan, a.k.a. Vowels. We've seen a lot of this card here tonight. I'm so impressed with how many people, like, showed up. We're here early. Got it done. Like, holy shit. We even saw a bonus match in there with, like, Toshank and Helen. Holy shit, man. What a night so far. This has just been crazy. Absolutely nuts. But wow. Boys, you know what? If you guys are going to be here early, I think we should award early. I think we should do the poll. We should see who's up. We'll see. I got to think of some people for performance of the night. But while we do that, let's get a poll going for fight of the night. How'd Toshank do? Toshank won. NVD versus Helen. Impressively. Yeah, Impale is definitely discouraging. We have Bandit versus IAS-based characters. Sin is definitely IAS-based. It's certainly a powerful skill. Versus casters, though, well, there's never been a Zon champion. That's what I say. And less is more. But it's so clearly broken versus IAS-based characters. We saw a fucking Impale Zon beat a Smiter going toe-to-toe. That just can't happen. Like, your only bad matchup? Like, come on now. That's just ridiculous. All right. Fight of the night. I'm going to say, dude, Jito PVP versus Gabriel needs to be in consideration. This was Din v Neck. This was where Gabriel pulled it out on the VT. Let me put it in the right order here. Neck versus VT. This is where Gabe pulled it out on the VT, an uphill battle. Jito played very well, and he also played aggressively. Didn't play like Late's Necro style. Dude was like launching perfect trains and then getting in the spot to engage, like, and was staying there. He would get away when he needed to. You can't be dumb. But you can also play semi-aggressively in that matchup, and that's exactly what Jito did. That was impressive. We also had, God, we had so many good ones. GVN versus Gogators. That was good. That was good. That was Sin v Barb. That was sick. That was a very good performance tonight from Gogators. I think Dio versus Punch, also very insane. It was a one-sided beatdown from Dio, but the fact that Punch is mixing in throw, trying new things, trying to amp and tap, like, so many options that he has in this matchup, him using those things, mixing in the throw, Dio with a very creative setup as well. That's what you see at the top tier, boys. Dio with a fucking just about as much block as he could have with Spirit. Like, holy shit. And then, of course, Max versus Muchez. That shit was nuts. Yeah, let's start it up with that. Let's start it up with those. Vote on who you think was the most entertaining fight of the night. These guys, the winner of this, both of these guys will get 500 forum gold each. Winner of performance of the night also gets an additional 500 forum gold. Performance of the night. Interesting. All right. I think I've got a lineup for performance of the night. I think I've got one. We'll give this poll until X01. Literally seconds left. Get your votes in. Who do you think got there for fight of the night? The best one. Let us know. Yeah, very good. This was an insane night of fights. Absolutely nuts, dude. All right, there it is. Max versus Muchez. That is the winner. I also have to award for last week. I just put a note. I think I forgot. I didn't send you any forum gold for last week, did I, Dio? You and Paulie won last week. I don't think I sent that out. Might do it right after stream before I do anything else. I think for performance of the night, this is how it should go. I think I've got my 4. Who had the performance of the night? All right, I'm going to surprise you guys with it. Ready? Some of them might not be as surprising. But if you think back, they're all pretty insane. I'll give you the rundown as we vote on them. And all right, here we go. How come it won't let me start it? What's going on here? Try this again. Performance of the night. This guy was on. And one more. All right. Now it's letting me start it. Good stuff. All right, here we go. We'll give this one a couple of minutes till X06. 2 minutes. We have in the consideration, Gogators. This guy was on a barb tonight. He went up against a couple of Sins. In the past, we've seen barbs just straight lose to Sins. But Gogators showing off those skills, beating 2 Savage Sin players. Vowels, who was a newcomer to the DFC, but then after that, GVN. This guy just showing off those nasty barb locks, aggression, angles, perfection on that barb. That was really good. But then also, when you look at it another way a barb can be played, you look at Montreana. This guy always trying new things. This guy tried different IAS breakpoints. He's trying different items, always approaching duels in very intricate, very unique ways. And also, this guy's getting pretty savage with those locks, those calls on the Zerks. Always love seeing that guy go at it. And dude, it always seems like he's got his back up against the ropes, right? Dude's never had an easy night, but dude always shows up and kicks some ass. We also got Slapmonkey, the new guy, technical new guy versus real new guy. And I gotta say, I was actually pretty impressed with Slapmonkey. His skills on the Necro there, you gotta figure. He went up against Helen, and Helen is a seasoned FPK player on the Druid, which, if you ask me, has a slight advantage in that matchup. Slight. But Slapmonkey, dude, coming out of nowhere, this guy actually put on a very good duel versus Helen. He didn't win, but it was an impressive showing. Like, it was one of those showings where, like, if a loss could ever say more than a win, that was the duel, right? It's very good. Then we also had Gabriel. This guy had his back against the ropes versus a Necro and a good player on the Necro, Jito PVP. This guy not only does it on a VT, which is, again, an uphill battle. You got your back against the ropes, but he was just involved in one of the best duels of the night, I think. Like, just back and forth, showing off that 3-piece combo, too, with the Din. This guy's a force to be reckoned with, and I think he showed it off tonight. But what do you think? Let me know. We're now at 06, and it looks like Mr. Gogators is the winner. I think that's fair. Very good performance there from Gogators. This guy's just constant aggression. He stacked up 2 wins against the most dominant class out there right now. Stacked up 2 of them on the most disadvantaged class out there. This guy really showed improved tonight. That was sick. Just a great performance. Insane performance. We've had some insane duels tonight, man. I gotta say, I wanna have everybody, if you're sipping on anything tonight, tip one back with me, will you? A special reason. First of all, everybody just showing up tonight, right? Sometimes, as you guys know, we kind of have to wait around a little bit. Everybody's got different schedules. Just, you know, we expect that, right? Everybody's got different schedules. We all have our lives. But man, this event really flowed tonight, man. And it's all because of you guys just showing up, being patient in the Discord, but also being present. Being patient and being present. Just right there. We were easily able to flow between so many different duels. There was never a pause in the action. So big cheers to everybody in the DFC tonight. You guys put on a show. Like, that was amazing. This was one of the smoothest events ever. Big cheers. That was sick, man. That was really good. I was impressed. But I think that's it. I don't see anybody else streaming in the Discord. Boys, what a hell of a night. Short and sweet tonight. What a hell of an event. Some people might be dueling a little later, either when they get out or whatnot, putting on a show. I might pop into the Discord, chill with you guys for a bit in there. I got to go send some forum gold before I get to talking, get to running my mouth. We got to make sure we send these prizes out here. I think I forgot last week, so if you're in the Discord, we'll see you over there. If not, check the description of this video for the link to the Discord. Feel free to pop in, come chill with us. We'll probably be over there in the Join the Stream channel. Thank you, Gabe. Big cheers to you, brother. Really, again, I appreciate that support, man. That was awesome. You guys are sick. This was the best event. It just seems like they always get better every week. You don't think it can happen. I always think that we're just going to reach this pinnacle and we're going to be like, that was the time. Like, the events after that event, Never felt the same. We haven't got there, man. Every week it just feels like this gets better, and it's all thanks to you guys this week, man. It was so smooth. So smooth. I don't know about that, Chuck. We'll see. It's a one-man show right now. I don't let Bill in this fucking thing. You think I'd let him up here? Dude can't... I mean, dude's a good guy. But he was raised in Haragath. And you don't want that kind of barbarian up in this fucking thing. You never know what they're going to do. Yeah, felt bad to choose. I hear you, Demonology. Boys, thanks so much again for joining me. I'll see you in the Discord if you're not already there. I'll pop in a minute. Thanks again. Big cheers to you guys. We'll catch you next time. Appreciate you joining me. Another hell of a Thursday night, man. We'll catch you tomorrow on stream. See you then. Peace.